Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I am Stephanie, your tarot reader, and today we have another mystery reading. This time it's about your spirit guides and what they would like you to know, what is coming through. In some cases you may get to know who they are, how they operate, what they thrive on. So the spirit guides and your spirit team are people that you collaborated with before you reincarnated into this world to help you out on your journey, on your earthly journey, on your spiritual journey. It all depends on what it is that you set out to do in this lifetime. Sometimes they come in and out of your life. Sometimes they last with you your whole life. It all depends. We're going to be tapping into these piles to see exactly who your spirit guides are and what they want to tell you. If anything, we're going to first take a few deep breaths, maybe really ground yourself, bring in some light, ask your guides to come through in these readings. Every single reading has been different. I've already finished all of them, so right now I'm just recording the intro. But we have 5 piles here for you today. Pile 1, we have the Marvel Tarot. Pile 2, we have the Wild Unknown Tarot. Pile 3, we have the Goddess of Love Tarot. Pile 4, we have the Modern Witch Tarot. And pile 5, we have the Mythos Tarot. So take a few deep breaths and I will be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the Marvel Tarot deck, then we have your mystery reading here from your spirit team. If you've never been to a mystery reading of mine, then how it works is we don't really have a theme or a question in mind. You will have one in your mind or in your heart, but we're just going to draw cards and we're going to get messages from the universe, your spirit team in this case, and the cards to see what is going on with you, what messages they would like to convey, anything that you need to know, as well as anything else that needs to sort itself out as we go through this journey. Our spirit team is the team that we choose before we incarnate into this world to see how we want to plan out our life path or life paths, depending on what it is that you want to do. And this reading specifically is going to call in your team, your guides, your angels, whatever you want to call them. I know they're all very different, but they're all still part of your little spirit family here. But let's go ahead and start with your oracles to see what they have to say. Starting with the angels and ancestors, we're going to see what kind of spirit guides you have. If you already know some of them and are wondering if they're going to come through, look out for some symbology or messages here for them. But otherwise, we're just going to tap in to see which one's going to come through in this reading from my lovely pile 1. There's something about power within this particular pile that is coming through. And I usually get that with the people who are attracted to the Marvel Tarot deck, I guess, unironically enough. We have Lord, take charge with authority. What did I say about power? Let's get 2 more from this deck. A lot of masculine energy here, though of course you don't have to identify as masculine. We also have White Witch, be the light. And Direction Guardian, choose your path. I feel this pile is my pile of people who have multiple paths. And there's something about flexibility here where you kind of made contingency plans in case one thing didn't work out, so you wanted to do something else. I feel like you may have done many lines of work or very different life paths, like maybe one part of your life was very different from another part of your life. There's something about doing a 180 or a 360 or something along those lines where you just really shifted your life several times, or if you haven't already, I feel like you will in the future, depending of course on where you are on your journey. We have Thoth, wisdom. Yeah, there's a lot of wisdom within this pile, a lot of knowledge. I'm getting like, for some reason I'm thinking of D&D within this pile, like a dungeon master who makes all these plans and helps people guide themselves through this particular game of life, if you will. So lots of wisdom. Back of the deck, I'm being told, oh, green man, abundance. So a lot of you will come into abundance, but I don't think it's going to be something you truly care about. It's just going to be like, you may have periods of a lot of abundance and sometimes when you're not as abundant, but it's like you consider that part of your journey. This is going to be my pile of people who, yes, they can make good money, but it's not going to be the biggest thing for them. It's just going to be another part of their life. Like I said, it's a 180. So maybe you came from nothing and became rather wealthy, or even went from wealthy to maybe more modest income. But it was all about your happiness, your choices, and your freedom here. Let's go ahead and get more cards from the Goddess deck. We have Persephone cycles. Yeah, like I said, there's something about many life paths, and sometimes it can come in cycles as well. Like maybe during certain periods of your life, you were a certain way, and then during other periods, you were a different way. I think it all depends on whether you recognize these cycles or not. And then one more. Kali, fear. So there was a time when you were really guided by fear. It wouldn't surprise me if you had a family that instilled fear within you. I know mine did for a long time. So this is going to be my pile of people who have really had to overcome fear and what it does for them, how it defines them, like what actually is scary in life and what isn't. You see this a lot in people with backgrounds of poverty or like a scarcity mentality. It's usually a fear of something that is within that kind of mentality. Like, yes, there's a lot of hope and a lot of love, but there can also be fear that you don't know what's going to happen the next day. Something about ungroundedness. So I feel like in this lifetime, you made it a point to really take power over your life and be the grounding energy for not just yourself, but for others. Very strong masculine energy for sure. We also have Hecate, illumination. Yeah, like I said, you guide people with wisdom, but also with light. And this is something people truly appreciate about you. I wouldn't surprise me if you were a parent, because I feel like this is the energy of somebody who guides people, especially children or those younger than them, those less experienced than them through life, because you've been through it as well. Let's go ahead and get your trash trash animal cards. You've got these two, the alley, accomplishment and possibilities. Yeah, I feel like you've had several accomplishments under your belt in this lifetime, or you will pile one. And your guides definitely help you. I feel like they come and go depending on the accomplishments that you are trying to obtain. Let me move this. It's a fake plant, so don't worry. But let me move this out of the way to get more space. Oh, what I do for the aesthetic. I like that nature aesthetic, but I need to set more cards here. Okay. But you have a lot of accomplishments, and sometimes certain guides will help you with this. For example, I have a guide that's an astrologer, and because astrology deals a lot with angles, whenever I was taking a particular class in high school, it was it trig? Whatever math class that deals with angles, it was the only math class I ever did really, really well on. I mean, and I guess you could say it was easy, but as somebody who isn't really great with numbers, that class stood out to me the most because I know in previous lives I've done mathematics with angles, and there's a guide that also guides me, like I maybe from that same past life, that does the same thing. It's my astrological guide who is always with me. I'm pretty sure it's a he, pops in every time I need to talk about astrology. But you might have similar guides that again just come to you whenever you're doing something specific. For example, if you're a mechanic, maybe you have a very mechanical kind of guide, or one that knows how to weld, how to deal with metal, or something along, I don't know why I was thinking welding and mechanics are the same thing, but regardless, whatever subject, you have a guide in that pile one. We also have seagull, nurturing. Yeah, oddly enough, this wisdom is very nurturing. Like, people find comfort within the fact that you know so much, within the fact that you know a lot. And likewise, it comes from the fact that you feel very nurtured by the wisdom of your guides whenever you do hear it, whenever you do tap into it. For those of you who actively tap into it, I feel like for those of you who don't, you will find comfort in certain hobbies or activities that you do that just come very naturally to you. That this is your guides helping you out. Sometimes they guide your movements, for example, in dance, or if you do anything with your hands, they'll guide your hands as well. We also have conflict avoidance. So I feel like you've had quite an interesting past, pile one. With conflict avoidance, I get the feeling that you've learned how to handle people. This goes with the fear. And maybe you've had adults in your life growing up that were not so great. And this is part of the reason you've learned how to deal with conflict. But I'm also thinking that even though you really wish you hadn't gone through that, and you would never wish that on anybody as well, you're kind of grateful that you know how to handle that, how to spot it, and how to help people with that, how to avoid being that, how to tell people not to be like that. So again, this is something a little dark, but I feel like in the end you're grateful that you know how to obliterate that kind of mentality, or that kind of energy in the world. Like, you know how to detect it, and you know how to stop it, put an end to it. This is definitely somebody who you're definitely somebody who likes to look out after people, and likewise your guides look after you. They give you such a strong nurturing presence, and you can't help but give that to the rest of the world as well. It's kind of like your guides work through you to bring the sort of nurturing and wisdom and power that you wish to see within other people. Let's go ahead, and that they wish to see in other people as well. I feel like all of you really want to do this together. Let's go ahead and get your astro cards from my lovely pile pile 1. Let me make sure everything's in focus. For my pile 1, we have Neptune, vision, and 4th house, home. There's a lot about the home here. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you have like your own families, because this would be the energy of somebody who wants to see a better world, and therefore you share this vision with the children you have by giving them that better world and teaching them how to build a better world or a better life for yourself. And maybe it came unexpectedly. 4th house does make me think that maybe some of you became parents very early on, or at an unexpected time in your life. Neptune lets me know that there's also a dreamlike quality about you. So you are very spiritual, though it doesn't really appear that way to people at first. Like, you don't give off hippie vibes, but you yourself are very spiritual, even if it's just in a very practical way. Back of the deck is Mars, again with that commanding energy. We have motion here, but I feel like it goes really well with the Lord, take charge and authority, and that's exactly what a Mars dominant person would do. I say this as somebody with Mars on the ascendant. Even though I'm not the most authoritative person, I know I can tap into that. And likewise, I feel like you're the same, pile 1. I feel like there's something about you that you just know what you're talking about, because you've lived so many lives, both in this life and in previous lives. And people really look up to you. I feel like you make a great leader, or a great older sibling, or just somebody that people would love to have on their team, because you're not somebody that they have to watch out for. They know that you know what you're doing. But you also know how to have fun, because with the Green Man and even the Neptune, I feel like there's something dreamy and quite ethereal about you. Like, people don't really know if you're real sometimes, because you'll be very authoritative, you'll be very serious, and then suddenly you'll say something funny or something silly, or maybe you have like a wild side to you that knows how to party, and people just were not expecting that. It's like when you see your boss, let loose at a company party or something. It's that kind of mentality, but yours is very subtle. It's very subtle and unexpected, but still kind of, it makes sense. Like, people would understand that why you need to let loose sometimes, especially if you've had such a very I wouldn't say a heavy life. I feel like your life hasn't been too difficult, maybe just your childhood, but they can see why you would want to let loose, especially if you're very structured and if you're very in control of yourself and of others. So I feel like people really like this. And I think some of your spirit guides encourage you to do this a little bit more. Maybe you don't do this enough. Like, you can't be, everybody's wise older auntie or uncle here all the time. Let's get some Sacred Feminine Oracle cards. We have grounded. Yes, there's something here about learning to remain grounded, especially right next to Mars here. And being grounded in your home. I feel like your home is where you go to, it's your sanctuary for sure, but the way you allow your home to be comforting to you is that you keep it very down to earth. I could see this home being like very filled with plants or something about nature. Maybe you live close to a specific type of environment that really grounds you, like a mountain or maybe the ocean, whatever really soothes your soul. Or your home in general could be very grounding to other people. Like, maybe when they come to your home, they realize that it's very inviting and relaxing and calming to them. We have receptive. So there's a very receptive energy to you. Like, if there is a good balance of masculine and feminine, but I should note that the goddess cards that you got are, well, 2 of them are from the 3, if you consider Kali of the underworld, because she's I want to say she's a goddess of death or destruction. Correct me if I'm wrong. I will look in I'll try to look in the book. I can't guarantee that. But they're all very, like, tough goddesses. Even Persephone, goddess of the underworld, Hecate, the illuminator of the underworld. They're both from the underworld. So your receptive and feminine nature is very dark. I'm thinking of like Lilith, or like dark femme. It's very mysterious and alluring. So if you are a woman or identify as a woman, people are really drawn to this energy of yours. Like, even your feminine side is very grounding and a little bit seductive, not gonna lie. Let's go ahead and get one more. Invasive. So I feel like you've had to deal with boundary setting quite a bit in your life, especially in your childhood, but also as you've gotten older. And maybe you've had many a relationship where people have overstepped their boundaries with you, or maybe they didn't want to respect your boundaries. And as you've gotten older, as time has gone on and you've gained experience, you've learned how to tell people exactly what you're about, what you expect, and you're not somebody who takes any nonsense. You're very serious about your boundaries, about the energy that you present within the world. Yeah, let me let this card pass. It was very silent all today, pile one. And just as I start filming, this one card comes by. It is funny. And maybe some of you have had to deal with that kind of energy too. Like as soon as you think something's over with, you are presented an obstacle or some sort of a test, let's say, and you have to deal with somebody that reminds you of your past or your past experiences, but you rise to the occasion and you know exactly how to handle it. I feel like people have so much respect for you, so much respect for the things that you've put up with and that they see you put up with. And a lot of people, honestly, even though you yourself have a very protective energy over people, they want to protect you too. They want to make sure that you're also being taken care of. Both your guides, because I feel that I'm seeing a lot of them nod their head like, yes, pile one needs to take more time for themselves and pour more back into themselves. But I'm also seeing like the friends around you, the people who care about you, your community, your coworkers, your family as well. They all want to see you take care of yourself because you do so much for other people that they wonder when you stop to rest, because when you're not resting your body, then you're working your mind and vice versa. So there's a call here for you to make sure that you put everything to rest. And as far as your feminine energy, not saying that it can't be, lighter or happier, but there's something here about not worrying so much about everybody else, because I'm thinking of somebody who cares so much about somebody else's soul that you don't stop and wonder or think about your own soul sometimes. It's easy for you to get lost in other people. And I feel like that could be another thing about boundaries. And sometimes it's people overstepping your boundaries, but maybe at one point you've overstepped other people's boundaries by wanting to nurture or take care of them. It's giving Cancerian energy, where Cancers can be very very nurturing, very, very mothering, almost in an overbearing way. But, it's not a bad thing. Some people do need that, but it's kind of like you've had to learn when to step away and focus on your own well-being as much as you focus on everybody else's, especially if you're a parent. But yeah, these are beautiful messages, and your spirit guides are all very powerful, all of them. Like, I don't know how many lives you've lived or who you've decided to take on, but I can tell that you have a spirit guide for almost every other endeavor that you've taken on in your life, or something along those lines where you shine. But let's go ahead. Sorry if you notice the camera shaking, but let's go ahead, and if this resonates with you, let's go ahead and move on to the tarot portion to see what else your spirit guides would like you to know, what other messages are coming through. Since we've gotten to know your structure, and I feel like you are very structured, like this was very clear cut, almost like you yourself wanted to become a little superhero of the universe in the most human way possible. So for my pile one, and the way we're going to do this one is we're going to get messages, like the top ones will be your messages, and then the bottom ones will just be clarifiers. I didn't really think through about the messages from your spirit guides. I'm just kind of letting them guide me. So it may be different in every pile. I can't promise that because this is the first one. And I literally came up with this idea this morning. So thank you for your patience if this seems a little bit all over the place, pile one. Or if you go to a different pile and it seems a little different as well. So for my pile one, let's go ahead and get your cards. We have the World, we have the King of Swords. Lots of intellectual ability here. There's a lot of intellectual ability, and I kind of figured that because we have Thoth, the God of Wisdom, and then we have the King of Swords, which is somebody who is very logical, very intellectual, very in their head. And I feel like your spirit guides really do help you with critical thinking and the mind. You may have had spirit guides that were from past lives that are very mathematical, because I'm being taken to like the Middle East, where a lot of certain mathematics were created that we use now. But I'm also thinking of astrology, which was a science back in the day. So maybe some of you are just really into astrology. The World makes me think that, yeah, you have a guide for everything. I feel like any endeavor that you really put your heart into, that you even put your whole soul into, you can really make a success out of it, or get at the very least what you want out of it. We have the Nine of Swords. So some of you are prone to anxiety, or maybe you only really speak to your spirit guides when you're worried about something, and this is the only time you try to speak directly through them. And I'm hearing you should come to them a lot more often, like maybe when you're happy as well. Oh, not that I'm calling you out already, pile one. But they still love you. They still love you. We have the Five of Coins. Yeah, there was a lack mentality at some point in your life. And I feel like it comes and goes as well. Like I said, sometimes it has to do more with abundance and sometimes it's more with your life path, your life choices. And the Seven of Swords. You uncover a lot of secrets. So your guides are really good at like sniffing out certain pieces of information that you shouldn't be having, but you get anyway. It's kind of like I'm seeing a network of like the foxes in, what was it, Avatar: The Last Airbender, in the library episode or episodes, where they go sniffing out information. They go find scrolls or books or whatever, pieces of information, and they bring it back to you. So the Seven of Swords here is you finding information through your guides. It's kind of like they might shove you in the right direction to make sure you hear something, or you might stumble upon the right information. Like maybe you're just online down the rabbit hole of Wikipedia, and then suddenly you come across like a source of inspiration within a particular page. Or maybe somebody randomly tells you something, like you just talk with a stranger and then they tell you about like, you know, some important thing. This happens to me a lot. I'll be getting information from people that I don't even really talk to like that. They'll just tell me certain information, but your spirit guides are really good at making sure that you get exactly the information. If not intuitively, because I don't feel like everybody here is going to be that intuitive, then through, you know, a network of energy that is flowing right to you or near you so that you can find out exactly what you need to find out. That's very interesting. I kind of love that. They also come through when you most need them. Like if you ever find a very specific thing that you've been looking for, like whether it's an article of clothing or maybe a certain amount of money, and you feel like it got to you just in time, they're there too, trying to find something for you, exactly what you need. They help you manifest for sure. I love it. It's like you have a whole publicity team. Well, not a publicity team. Well, I guess a publicity, like a whole team of people trying to make things work out for you in this life. And I feel like you don't use them enough is what I'm hearing. Like they kind of wish you would send in more orders because they want to keep doing this job for you. To clarify the world, we have the Ace of Swords. Yeah, you are such a good thinker. A heavy thinker. You're lost in thought a lot. I feel like you come up with your most genius ideas when you are, I'm hearing, either traveling or in that state of being happy. Like whenever you're in a good mood, you come out with the best ideas. Or whenever, like, I'm getting the feeling of either falling in love or being inspired. You get inspired very easily. And this is when they come through and they try to help you make your inspiration, your plans come through very, very smoothly or swiftly, depending on the situation. Let's clarify the King of Swords, the Chariot. Oh, the Chariot and the Page of Swords. They always, so you're somebody who likes to continue learning about the things that you love to learn about. Like this would be somebody who goes back to school, not because they need to, but because they just enjoy learning. And I feel like if not that, then at the very least, when it comes to your spirit guides, you keep consulting them just to see how much more you can learn. And maybe they also bring about these opportunities to you. It's like, we heard you love this hobby. Here are more books or more people or another community that is also into that. So you can keep expanding on this particular thing. I feel like they like to bring in people of your vibration or of your same level so that you can continue growing something here. It doesn't necessarily have to be an intellectual pursuit, because I know we have the swords here. It could also be a hobby. It could be your line of work. It could be your career. And they're really good at finding exactly the right people that you need to learn about something or to really nurture and grow your particular passion, whatever that may be. Let's go ahead and clarify the Nine of Swords. How do we clarify this overthinking? Knight of Wands. You're really good at pulling yourself out of some funks here. Like whenever you've been in a anxious episode, I feel like you really get to moving and doing stuff. You don't like to sit around and sit and worry, even though the worry does come to you a bit. I feel like overthinkers will tend to worry very easily. You prefer to put this into action. I feel like they bring the fire that you need sometimes to get moving on a particular idea or on a particular worry sometimes even. Like if you're ever worried about something and you really just need to do something to make you feel better about that particular... I'm sorry, pile. Sorry if you noticed the pile one. I switched the camera on accident. If you ever feel the need to do a certain action just to put that worry to rest, I feel like they're there to help you out. They're there to make sure that you find the right resources and even move in the right way that you need to in order to accomplish getting rid of the worry or maybe starting a particular endeavor. Let's get another card for to clarify the Five of Coins. Knight of Cups, Two of Wands. When it comes to your relationships, I feel like... Oh, this is very interesting, and I wasn't expecting that. When it comes to your friendships and relationships, they kind of make sure that you find the right person. If they ever feel the need to split you away from somebody, it's because they know deep inside that you'll either you two will get too attached in an unhealthy way, or if something doesn't really get off the ground, it's because they see already what's going on here. This is literally like a group of friends that want you to be better within relationships, so they don't want you getting with just anybody. They have higher standards for you when it comes to love and relationships than you have for yourself. So if something ever doesn't work out with the person that you're seeing or that you're talking to, it's because they made sure that they moved out of the way so you could find somebody better. And I know that seems a bit meddling, but your spirit guides know what you're made of. They know what you deserve, and they know that you are so much more deserving than of some of the people you go after, because you tend to go after people who are not lost causes, people who seem to need a bit more help than you're willing to provide. Like, they don't want you to be drained by anybody. And it's very interesting that this is coming through here. But yeah, I feel like you don't always see the kind of people that you could attract that are like way better for you. And it's weird that this is coming through. But yeah, that's what I'm getting from that particular Five of Pentacles card. Let's go ahead and get the Secrets card, because I think that's my favorite in this pile. The Nine of Coins. Yeah, you always get the exact information that you need. Maybe even more so. If those of you who are intuitive, you're always getting like the right downloads that you need in order to see something through, or to just gain the knowledge that you need, especially because you do love knowledge. You're very grateful for the knowledge that you have, both intuitive, academic, however you want to say it. I feel like there's something about information within you, pile one, that you are just you just really love knowledge. You love that you have a brain that you can process with and just know so much. Like, I feel like I don't even know how to put it into words, because I myself am not this knowledgeable or intelligent, but your guides really help you. It's like a network of librarians trying to help you out with the school project here. And the Nine of Pentacles is abundance, but here I'm seeing an abundance of secrets. Maybe you're just also really good at keeping secrets. Back of the deck is Page of Cups, and I'm seeing that as youthful energy. So regardless of how old you are or how much you've been through, there's always a very youthful, childlike energy to you. And I feel like your guides really want you to stay in this inner child kind of energy, where you're just always happy and loving life and living freely. All right, pile one. Sorry if you notice another cut. It's actually been a few days since I last tapped into your energy. I had to run errands, and then sometime between then and now I got sick. So if my voice sounds a little different, that's probably why. But we were talking about your inner child. One thing your guides are bringing through is that they kind of keep you in this youthful energy. And if you have a lot of fire placements in your chart, I feel like that's definitely the case. But regardless, there's something very youthful about you because of how you keep your mind and body active. You could be into sports, or you could just be into seeing video games, which I know doesn't seem like it would keep you youthful. What it does is it keeps your brain active. So if you do any type of activity that involves brain work or thinking, critical thinking, that's actually going to keep you youthful in the way you think. Or if it's more of a physical hobby or a physical kind of thing, it'll keep your body very youthful. But regardless, your inner child comes through for you in not just your personality, of course, but in the way you carry yourself. It wouldn't surprise me if people think you're a lot younger than you actually are, even as you get older. Or even if you do look your age, I feel like your energy, your personality will be very youthful. Also being, it's funny because this just happened to me. Like I said, a few days ago, I got sick at random between the recording of your video. And it's kind of like, if you're the kind of person who has a hard time sitting down and thinking about things or processing either emotions or something, sometimes the universe will just knock you out with a random illness or a random ailment, so that you can really sit back and relax. And for a lot of you, I think this bothers you because you don't like to just sit around and do nothing. But what your guides are telling me is that sometimes you just don't sit and listen to yourself or your body or your intuition. So they kind of force you to get some sort of sickness at random so that you can take the time, whether it's in bed or at home, to just reflect on certain things that are going on around you or within yourself. This could be my pile of people who have a hard time tapping into their emotions, because as I'm looking at this spread, there's not a lot of cups here besides the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups. But the Knight of Cups doesn't necessarily have to be very emotional. I tend to see the Knight of Cups as somebody who likes to be romantic. So maybe this could be my pile of lover boys and lover girls. You don't necessarily have to be, or you could just be preoccupied with relationships as well, especially with the Page of Cups here. But like I said, it's youthful energy here. It's not necessarily emotions. So I feel like for a lot of you, it takes certain moments or certain things in life to really tap into your emotions, whether it's the death of a loved one, whether it's you becoming sick like I did just so randomly a few days ago, and or through the people that come into your life. You could be drawn to more emotional people because you yourself may not be the best at processing emotions, and your guides will bring these people into your life. They'll make sure that they're healthy emotional processors that can help you out with this, and through and with them you learn a lot about yourself. I do see this a lot, especially with people who have like a moon and an air sign. They may not be the best at processing their own emotions because to them their emotional way of being is to think things thoroughly. It's more, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but I say this because I have a lot of people in my life with a moon and an air sign, and I myself have a lot of water. I come into their lives to help them process those emotions, which I'm okay with because they're friends. But likewise, I feel like these are the kind of people that you tend to attract, or that you are attracted to. And like I said, your guides do make it a point to bring them into your life. So what else is coming through? Lots of swords energy, lots of wands, and coins. So lots of air sign, fire sign, and just enough pentacles, just enough earth to ground and stabilize you. But I feel like a lot of you could definitely benefit from tapping into your emotions, whether that's through keeping like a diary or just talking to a friend whenever you feel a certain way that is difficult to understand. This will all depend on what you're comfortable with, though, of course. But yeah, let's move on to your closing advice, my lovely pile one. I also feel you're really just good at taking what life has to throw at you, because I feel like life does throw some very random things at you. I'm going to start with an Audacity card from the Audacity deck. For my pile one, we have the coffee. Lots of mental stimulation for sure. Whenever I think of coffee, I think of how it allows you to focus. It allows you to have some mental clarity. At least that's how I felt whenever I drank coffee. I no longer drink coffee, and you don't have to like or drink coffee either, pile one. I just feel like this is a kind of energy that you are used to being in. Again, regardless of whether you drink coffee or not. And people might find you very stimulating as well. I feel like people find you very interesting. And I feel like for a lot of you, if you were to tap into your guide's wisdom, you would get that surge of energy that you need from them as well. For those of you who already do, I feel like you may understand. Like, you connect with your guides, you take in their messages, and you suddenly feel a burst of inspiration or a burst of focus and determination that comes through here. Let's go ahead and get a card from this is the Angel Tarot card deck, but I'm using it as an oracle deck here. For my pile one, we have the 10 of Fire. This is the 10 of Wands. Too much work. Accept help from others. Life is out of balance. Stress-related health concerns. Like I said, sometimes you don't really see what's going on, or you may take on a little bit too much, and it will be at random, because I'm seeing it like very sporadically here. I'm seeing it almost like you will take on things at random without warning, and this can cause you to stress out. And sometimes it's this very particular stress that can knock you out, on a health based kind of way. Like, you may just get sick, and therefore you have to sit down and actually rest and recover. But I'm also seeing somebody who takes on just a little bit too much than they're supposed to. Like I said, you might be a parent, or you could just be somebody who feels the need to take care of others. And another way of seeing this is that people may rely on you a little too much. Like, maybe people pour a lot of their problems onto you, and that's not necessarily fair, especially within the workplace. If you're somebody who just is really good at their job, or you're good at getting things done, they may give you a lot more than you need, and this itself can cause you to have either a mental breakdown, or it could actually get you sick. I'm saying that as somebody who's done that before as well. But yeah, I feel like this is something that you need to take heat of pile 1. Let's get another card from the Work Your Light Oracle. Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations and divine plan. You, like I said earlier, there's something about structure within your life that you just really wanted. It's like you yourself wanted to create empires, and this is something that you've always planned to do. With divine plan, I feel like there is something about the plans that you want to undertake in this lifetime, pile 1, that are meant to change the world for the better, that are meant to really allow people to find themselves or to better themselves. There's something here about you wanting to see the best in others or helping them succeed that is going to really play itself out, especially during your later years or whenever you find the right people. I'm hearing that you have to have a team of people, because what you want to do, it's a little bit larger than you doing it by yourself, especially with the 10 of Wands here. It's like you can't take it all on your own. As strong as you are, as capable as you are, you need a team. And when you find this team, you'll be able to do exactly what it is that you want. Let's get another card from this deck. We have Imrama. Where are you being called to journey to? So some of you will travel quite a bit if you haven't already. There is a place that you are meant to reside in. There is a community out there waiting for you. And it could be these people that help you build whatever it is that you want. But there is somewhere out there where you're meant to be. And I feel like most of you aren't there just yet. Maybe you are and you will know if you are. But there's a place that is calling to you where you're meant to help build something. Help found something that people really need. Some of you could go into politics or something similar, or you could just create a company, again, that will help people help themselves. Let's go ahead and get your Pokemon cards. All right. We have the Withdrawal, Tangela, the Withdrawal. There's something about you withdrawing from time to time that is necessary, because you just put so much of your energy out there and you do so much for people. Again, make sure you take the time to take care of yourself before the universe knocks you out and says, here, you're going to be sick for a week so you can think about what you haven't done for yourself, you know? It's kind of annoying that these messages are popping up as soon as I got sick. So let's go ahead and get another card for you. We have, if you knew that, why did you do that? Some of you here just know better about certain things. And I know it sounds a little reprimanding here, but I feel like some of you kind of ignore your intuition when you're not supposed to. And sometimes your guides want to come through and be like, well, what did we learn? But it's in a loving way. I'm not sure what that's meant to be for. I'm not sure why that card came out. I think some of you will know. I think some of you messed up recently and you know exactly what you did, and you now know better. So I guess that's just for those of you who know what's going on in your life. Let's get another card. This is the Forest Friends deck. And if you have animal guides, you could see these as the animal guides that you have. I didn't really get a lot of animal cards in this reading, but I guess I should have, because I know some people have animal spirit guides. These two wanted to come out. Okay. We have the rabbit and a squirrel. Oh my gosh. We have white hair, awareness. Are you attuned to your environment? How can you be more aware of the world around you? Something about environment is very important within this group. I feel like the places you go or the places you live in will be very important. It could also be your communities, like I said, or your friend group. But there's something here about being very attuned to the environment you are in, and in doing so, you will help change the environment around you. We also have this cheerful squirrel. Treasure. The memories you make with your loved ones are your treasures. There's something about your group of friends that is going to be very important here. Squirrels in general make me think of hyperactivity, like you cannot stand still, or I also think of intelligence sometimes with squirrels. Don't ask me why, but a lot of the smartest people I've met will have a very squirrely attitude. Like they'll fidget, or they're always going around from place to place. It's like whenever they get an idea, they move very quickly. So yeah, lots of intellectual ability here. And with hair awareness, I'm thinking more of fertility, which is creativity here, like the things you're able to create. And of course, if you want children, this will also be very important in the long run, because I feel like your children are meant to help you carry out your legacy. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile one. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 2. Welcome to your mystery reading from your spirit guides. If you've never done a mystery reading with me before, the way it works is we don't really have a theme or a question in mind. We just tap into your energy, in this case with your spirit team, the team that you created before you reincarnated into this life, and we're going to see what messages they may have for you. So the only thing we're really talking about is like what messages they may have for you. So whatever comes through could be about anything. We're going to start with the oracles to see who your spirit team is, what they may have to say about you, about your life path, about anything that is coming through. Let's start with the Angels and Ancestors deck. I keep hearing it's a cruel summer, which is very interesting. Not sure if some of you are summer babies or if the summertime is like an important time for you, but there's something here about the seasons in general. Let me adjust the camera for a moment. Something about shifts in perspectives when it comes to the seasons. I don't know if some of you are just like very nature oriented, or maybe you go through cycles. Because I'm also hearing Post Malone's Circles or Runaway. Runaway, but we're running in circles. Very interesting. But let's get your cards. So we have mountains, stand your ground. Lots of Capricorn energy. Anytime I think of mountains, I think of Capricorn because I think of the goat that climbs the mountain. But also a lot of very grounding energy. Very stabilizing kind of energy. We have Skyfather, trust in the unknown. So lots of masculine energy is coming through. Some of you could have somebody like either Thor or Zeus as a predominant archetype here. Not necessarily a spirit guide, but more like maybe a deity that you choose to work with. We also have Druid, hold the space. Some of you have ancestors that have passed down a lot of gifts to you. Very masculine energy, surprisingly. Usually when I tap into this kind of energy, it's more feminine because a lot of our gifts do come from our feminine side. But I guess for this particular pile, it's probably more masculine. Star Ancestor, follow the voice of your soul. Some of you have been gifted with a very important or unique voice, whether that's in the way that you speak or in the way that you command a room. Some of you have been gifted with a very unique voice, and this is part of what your guides and ancestors want you to utilize more in this life. I'm hearing that you just have a way of commanding a room. I feel, especially if you're like in theater, or even if you don't really feel that you have that right now, pile 2, I feel like this is something you can really tap into or work into, because I grew up being a very timid and quiet kind of person, but I realized as I've gotten older and as I've like branched out on my own, finding my own path, I've become more and more, I don't know if I want to say eloquent because I don't think I'm quite there, but definitely the words that I say, that I tell people, hold an impact, because I've been told this before, and of course sometimes I hear it through this channel as well. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. We're using the Gods and Goddesses deck, and these could be, again, the type of guides you have, or they could be the deities that you work with. But already, lots of very masculine energy here. And I want to say the first pile was very similar, but it doesn't surprise me. There's been a lot of masculine energy, like a lot of divine masculine energy has been coming through as of recently. I don't know if it's a shift in the dynamic of spirituality where we're finally balancing things out, where for a long time it was divine feminine, and of course we love and appreciate and absolutely enjoy the divine feminine here, but it's like the divine masculine is trying to catch up to balance everything out. We have Lakshmi, prosperity. So you will definitely come into, I don't want to necessarily say money in this lifetime, but there's like a sense that you're going to enjoy life. Your guides put you here for you to enjoy life, pile 2. And for some of you, this could come through the form of maybe with somebody else. Maybe you will become prosperous once you find like a partner or a person to share this with. I do feel like some of you will enjoy prosperity with somebody. That doesn't have to be the case. But for some of you, you kind of made it so that you wanted to share all the riches in the world with somebody else, not just on your own. Because I'm seeing somebody who is like, has all this money, but they feel lonely, and you don't want that. I feel like you want to share this with somebody, at least a loved one, possibly your family, but there's something about your finances here, your abundance being shared. Let's get another card. We have Rihanna and self-trust. You will go through some time of being alone. I feel like your guides are the strongest with you when you are independent or when you're going through things on your own. We have Esther, new beginnings. And Pomona, plenty. So yeah, definitely a lot of, maybe some of you are already rather wealthy and this is kind of like, no duh, like I have this. But for some of you, you were kind of meant to go through a moment of being alone and appreciating everything that you have, everything that you are by yourself, so that when you came with somebody else or when you started your family or when you started your maybe a group of friends even, you would know how to share with them. You would know how to really enjoy the fruits of your labor with them. And it's interesting that your spirit guides are bringing this through, especially for those of you who feel that you don't really have anybody. There's something here about wanting to share all the riches with everybody. Like you don't want to keep them to yourself. You don't want to hoard them. You want to be wealthy so that you can share with everybody. And that's very sweet, Pile 2. I kind of love this energy. But I do see that you have quite an independent energy. And I feel like your guides definitely are with you the strongest when you are alone. There's a sense of safety, a sense of independence. Like you really don't need anybody, but if you do, you kind of want to share your life with them. Like this would include experiences. I know I keep saying like abundance and riches, but it could also be a wealth of experiences. It could also be like a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of something. Like there's this somebody who I'm getting like, this isn't going to be everybody, of course, but I'm thinking of like an only child kind of mentality. Like they want to have a lot of friends because they grew up with nobody. So they want to like have everything and everything for everybody. It's very sweet. But for a lot of you, there is like a key person that's going to come into your life, and this is how you're going to know that that you've made it. I'm hearing. It's very sweet. I don't, Pile 2. I don't know who you are, but you're very sweet. Let's go ahead and get your God cards. So these are the Goddess cards, and I'm giving you extra just because I don't know. There's something about abundance here. We have Hypnos, sleep. When it comes to the masculine side or your more masculine energies, I feel like Ganesha, obstacles, you've been downplaying them a lot. Or Eros, love. Odin, guidance. What's interesting is I'm getting this. It's like a contrast of like being with people and being without people. I feel like you just feel so much different whenever you have people and when you don't. This could be my pile of people who maybe have dealt with codependency or have like a mentality of being either alone but being surrounded by people. If that makes any sense. Like maybe you have a lot of friends but you feel alone. Or yeah, like I feel like, I don't know, I just get the mentality of somebody who is like an only child or who has felt alone even though they're surrounded by people. And the masculine side is what kind of makes them feel that they have to go through everything alone. But then there's the feminine side that's like liberating. And I guess this will depend on how you identify as here. And of course, you don't have to take it feminine and masculine. This is just how it's being shown. Because when I'm seeing the feminine energy, it's just so beautiful, abundant, and gorgeous and loving and warm. But then the masculine side is like, no, we can't do this. We have to be alone. We have to do this on our own. We have to be very independent. So it's a little bit of toxic masculinity here, not gonna lie. But I feel like your guides, the guides that you actually have that are on the spiritual realm, are masculine themselves, and they kind of want to be like, no, that's actually not how it's supposed to be. So it's like the 3D men in your life have instilled some kind of false belief that you have to be a certain way, Pile 2. But then your actual spirit guides that identify as masculine are like, actually, nah, that's not how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be willing to open up to everybody and be in this energy of like loving everybody, because I'm seeing a big sense of community within you, Pile 2, believe it or not, whether you have one or not. I feel like there's going to be a big sense of community that is going to be important going forward, and this is where you're going to find your stability. This is definitely the energy of somebody who is very much a leader within their group, or just natural leading kind of energy. Like this is going to be somebody who who really wants to see better in the world, and it's part of the reason why your guides are going to guide you into like a um a path of leadership. Maybe you've always wanted this and maybe you haven't, but regardless, you are meant for a path of leadership because you understand that when you surround yourself with people, you have more. In fact, look at all the goddess cards are all surrounded by like things and people, and then the ones with men on them are like they have wings. And not even the kind of wings that are meant to liberate you. These are like wings that like they need stability, they need grounding. There is something here a lot about feathers, so this could be my pile of people with a lot of air signs or air sign in their chart. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. You don't necessarily have to be, though. If you're a very gifted speaker, I feel like this would also make sense. You could also just be very Mercury dominant. After all, we do have actually we don't have Mercury here. I thought we did. But what's interesting is that there's going to be a very key relationship in your life, pile 2, that's going to open you up. And I feel like this is something that you kind of asked the universe. It's like, bring me somebody who's going to really help me tap into my potential because I want to build everything with this person. It's very beautiful. I know not everybody wants to hear that because you don't necessarily need a relationship in order to be a complete person. But I think for you, pile 2, you really did want somebody that would help you gain something in this world, because you want riches, you want abundance, but you know it means nothing if you don't have somebody. Oh, now I'm hearing Alicia Keys. What's their song? If I ain't got you, I ain't got nothing. But everything means nothing if I ain't got you. I love that song. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. We're going to use the Trash Animals deck, because I want to say this is what I use. It's been a few weeks since I've started recording this particular reading because I've been sick, and this is why my voice sounds a little weird. So if I sound a little off, that's probably why. Thank you for your patience, pile 2. So from the Trash Animals deck, we have, okay, I'm taking all of these because they came out. The Tipped Over Trash Can, good luck and opportunities. Squirrel, communication. Like I said, you're a very gifted speaker and you're very great at communicating. If you're not in this energy right now, pile 2, I feel like you will grow into it, I promise. Because I've seen people go from having speech impediments or having like even like maybe a second language to overcome, like having to learn a whole different language that you're going to be speaking in. I see it a lot, and it is something that you can definitely work upon. It's something you can improve. After all, we speak. This is how we communicate. And if not actual speaking, could even be like any other type of communication. And then the Den, nurturing and structure. So within this lifetime, you are meant to create something of a community or a family. Again, there's something about family, community, and prosperity all coming together. Like for you, money and people go hand in hand, or riches, abundance, and like good things go hand in hand. Like you wanted to have an abundant life because you wanted to share it with people that you love. Again, it's just very sweet energy, pile 2. Like, let me know what you are and who you are and what you want to do, because I feel like you have dreams that are meant to be accomplished, and your guides are going to help you out with this because they know that you understand. Again, everything means nothing if I ain't got you. There's a big sense of community here. And for those of you who already have a person, let me know, like, how are things going? Because I feel like you will know who your person is because they will want to help you build a community. They will want to make you a better person. Not because they're forcing you to, but because they kind of, they make you rise to that challenge. They make you want to do stuff that you typically wouldn't do. Let's go ahead and get your astro cards. We have Midhaven, Pinnacle, and look at this beautiful castle. Again, you want to build riches for everybody around you. I should also note that, like, I don't know what lighting I'm using. This is like my typical lighting, but like the camera is shining so brightly right now. There's something about clarity of the mind and clarity of your goals coming through. We also have, again, Capricorn. Maybe some of you are Capricorns or you have a lot of strong Capricorn placements within your chart. But there's something here about achievement. In fact, the 10th house and the Midhaven are usually around the same place. The Midhaven will usually be the beginning of the 10th house. So there's something about not just your community, but also about the things you're going to create. They're going to be long lasting, and it's going to be something that the community, that your people, that people around you are really going to appreciate, adore, and love about you. I'm being shown Walt Disney for some reason, and even though people have mixed feelings about, of course, that company and the man himself, you can't help but deny that the man had a lasting impact on animation and even, I guess, the tourism industry, whatever it is that you want to say. I'm getting that kind of energy from you, Pile 2, where you're going to create something that is very long lasting and people will talk about it probably for the rest of their lives, or you will harbor a community or maybe even a company that is going to do a lot of great things for people. But again, there is something here about key people, whether it's your own partner, your friends, maybe even your children that help you carry this out. Because I know Disney did the same thing. I think it was his brother that helped carry out a lot of the company or something along those lines. Correct me if I'm wrong. I do love Disney, but it's been a minute since I've read up on it. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. We have unappreciated. So I do get the sense that there have been moments in life where you felt unappreciated. And maybe this is part of what really drives you. Let's get another card. Peaceful. Fairy woman. So there have been moments in your life where you feel that people either took you for granted or maybe tried to do something to you. Like people try to hurt you, or maybe I just keep getting taken for granted for some reason. Like people just did not expect you to be what you were, or they kind of thought you would be something that you weren't. But I'm seeing you gain a lot of insight from this. I'm seeing you gain a lot of strength from that. It's like you were meant to experience that maybe once or twice in your life to show people, to prove them wrong. Because if there's one thing Capricorn does like, it's to thrive in the face of adversity. And I really do feel that from this pile. Again, you don't have to be a Capricorn, but I feel like that sentiment is very much within this pile, where you had to be misunderestimated once to show people just how wrong they could be. And I feel like that has been a good motivator for you to get the things that you want done. But regardless, I don't think that you stuck in this energy. It's like, yeah, I did it. I proved them wrong, but let me move on to better things. Because with peaceful energy here, I feel like you actually want something better for this life. Like you saw the things that were needed in this life, or you saw how things could go wrong and you wanted to better them. You still do. I keep saying this in the past tense. Maybe some of you have already been there, but your guides really, how do I say this? Excuse that car in the background. I know it's kind of loud. It's like you understood that you had to go through tests, and now you want to make the world a better place. It's like you're not going to let anything negative keep you down. And part of the reason the Fairy Woman card here, I like this card. To me, it's the card of showing people where they need to go. So maybe some of you are meant to be spiritual leaders in this lifetime. I think some of you are also meant to be just mentors in this lifetime for sure, showing people how to do the things that they need to do and how to go about it. I see somebody who really wants to better others. Again, there's a sense of community here. And when you want to share riches and abundance with others, you don't just give it to them, of course. You don't just make it yourself and then give it to them, though, of course, that's the easy way to do it. You show them how to go for the things that they want. You show them how to create the things that you've created so that they can better themselves. I see this a lot with people who come from nothing and become something. They like to show it off to other people because that's honestly the best sense of gratification you can get in a lifetime somehow, is watching people better themselves because you help them out. And I feel like for this pile, that's definitely the case. And I'm not just talking about family either. I'm talking about like friends. I'm talking about maybe people that look up to you, or even people who need a lot of healing. Though I'm not getting too many healers here. I feel like the person you may end up being with would be a healer, but you yourself, pile 2, you're very grounded and practical. A lot of what you're doing is actually going to be mostly in the 3D. Mostly in the 3D. Let's get another. I'm going to get another card from the Sacred Feminine Oracle. Okay, 2 more cards. We have Devoted and Generous. Yeah. There's something to be said about your generosity and devotion to people, as well as your community and your family, especially your family. There's a sense here that a lot of you... What's interesting is that this is 12 and 24. It's like when you devote yourself to something, you multiply it. You almost double the either your earnings, the significance of it, or like even the impact of it. There's something here about you doing a lot for the community when you decide to devote yourself to. It's very altruistic, I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel like you see a lot outside yourself, and maybe in your younger years you're not this way, maybe right now you're not this way, but you're gonna want to expand outside of yourself eventually, and you're gonna want to see people better themselves. And it's very beautiful energy. I feel like you were called to do something big here, pile two. Maybe it's not resonating with you now, but I really hope it does in the future, because the kind of person that I see you becoming is just somebody so amazing and such a key player within your community. People really look up to you. People really admire the things you do. People love you and your family and all the people around you. Other numbers coming through, we have 36 and 37, which is interesting because maybe some of you are nearing these ages, or these are going to be the ages when you start doing these things. We have 17, 10, and I think that's it for the numbers. But if this sounds like something that you would do, or something that you are being called to, let's move on to the rest of your reading, my beautiful pile two. Again, I'm loving this energy. You don't have to be a Capricorn, like I said. You could also just be of that generation with like the Capricorn stellium. I was born in that generation. Like all my outer planets are in Capricorn. It's hard to escape sometimes. Like we'll all be a little Capricorn without wanting to be. But your spirit guides are very straightforward. I feel like your more feminine spirit guides are... they're very strong and self-reliant, and they know how to build somebody up. But like I said, there's something here about a relationship that is key to your life, because you asked the universe to bring you somebody that you could build something with, because you wanted to build something with somebody. And maybe it's the family you will have. Maybe it's just whatever goals you both have. It's not codependence, but it's definitely knowing that you can get further when you have somebody to help you out. So we're going to go into the tarot portion now. All right, so into the tarot portion, we're going to start with the top. It's going to be messages from your spirit guides. Bottom is going to be anything that is clarified. And I didn't really think it through for the tarot portion. I kind of just wanted to leave it open-ended to see what your spirit guides have to tell you, anything else that has to come through. It may or may not resonate with the actual oracles that we just went through. So for my pile two, we have the Hanged Man. This is Pisces energy. So some of you could have a lot of Pisces in your chart. We have the Emperor, again with the masculine energy. You do not have to identify as masculine or be masculine here to think of this. You could also think of it as yin and yang energy, the positive energy, the more active energy. I just say masculine because I have nothing against, you know, the masculine, feminine energies. But I know some people like to think of it differently. But there's something about a very positive, outgoing energy here for you, pile two. We have the Six of Cups. This is that sense of community that I kept bringing up. And it's interesting that we have trees here. You're definitely going to be setting roots in this lifetime because your guide saw something within you that understood that you would be somebody amazing for this, because there's something about your altruism or your sense of community, your sense of love for other people. We also have the Eight of Pentacles. Lots of hard work, but also lots of reaping rewards. We have the Three of Swords. So definitely some heartbreaks in this lifetime, not just like actual romantic heartbreaks, but I feel like there's been some disappointments, but I feel like it's just part of what's made you what you need to be. Of course, anybody will go through disappointments, but there's something about these disappointments. It's like you take from a lot of your losses and you turn them into lessons so that people don't have to go through them. I see this a lot in mentors and people who want to be like leaders. And the last one, the Moon. So lots of intuitive ability here. But for some of you, it won't really come till much later in life, believe it or not. Or if not later in life, it won't come until like after you've gone through this dark night of the soul. Let's go ahead and clarify these cards. For my pile two. To clarify the Hangman, we have the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Wands. Very interesting. To clarify the Emperor energy. I'll let you know why I'm kind of laughing. We have the Knight of Pentacles. To clarify the Six of Cups, we have, oh yeah, the Eight of Swords. Oh, pile 2. I am sending you so much love. And I hope a lot of this is already in the past. To clarify the Eight of Pentacles. You're a little closed off, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like some of you are still in you're still on your journey, and parts of your paths are closed off, if that makes any sense. We have the Eight of Cups, yeah. I was feeling this very strongly. We have 3 8s. So the 8th could be an important number for you. In fact, the moon is 18 as well. August could be an important month for some of you, or maybe you were born in August. To clarify the 3 of, oh, okay. The 3 of Swords is the Queen of Wands. And there's several ways to take that. And then to clarify the moon, the Tower. So your intuitive awakening, if it hasn't happened already, might come unexpectedly. For those of you who have already had your intuitive awakening, it came unexpectedly. And you probably remember the time, the day, the person, the situation, and what it was. Back of the deck, we have the Page of Pentacles. My beautiful pile 2. I'm sending you so much love because I understand this energy, and I like when I see, well, I guess I don't want to say I like it, but like I understand when I see somebody who's gone through something similar. And I feel like a lot of people who have their spiritual or intuitive awakening go through the similar things. But let's start with the Hangman. The Hangman is a surrender, and what you had to surrender was to the notion that you had to very defiantly and very strongly love yourself. I'm not sure if you grew up in an environment that made you feel that you were less than, or that you couldn't love yourself, or that you were just hard to love somehow. But I see that you had to radically and strongly learn to love yourself. Like, the self-love here is so strong. And I feel like once this happened, once you decided, yes, I'm going to love myself regardless, all the good, all the bad, all the perfect, all the imperfect, life really started changing for you. I feel like you've had to turn away certain people that were just not doing anything for you, or that were making you feel less than. And maybe it's a lifelong journey. Maybe you come across these people every now and then and you're like, yep, I'm not putting up with that. And you've really had to learn how to embrace yourself in the most beautiful way possible. Because whenever I think of the Hangman, I think of somebody who's had to really, quite literally, turn their life upside down. You've had to change your perspective, because the way you grew up was not the best way to look at yourself. Let's put it that way. Whether it was outside sources, whether it was your own family, whether it was something internal. I feel like somewhere, somehow, somebody made you feel inadequate. And one of the biggest realizations to how your life is meant to unfold is to radically and dramatically, very boldly love yourself. Maybe some of you are still going through this. Maybe some of you are still struggling with this. But like, I definitely feel that one of the biggest things your spirit guides want you to understand is that you always have to choose yourself. Doesn't matter who you hurt. Well, don't hurt people. But doesn't matter who you end up disappointing. Doesn't matter what's going on. If you don't choose yourself, nobody else will. Because there's something here about you really having to stand in your power and knowing that you deserve everything that is meant for you. With the Emperor and the Knight of the Knight of Pentacles, there's an energy here of you slowly coming to accept this very powerful energy of yours. Like, some of you felt that you weren't entitled to it, or you were afraid that if you were to step into this quote masculine energy, that you would end up misusing it, or that you would end up going crazy with power. Maybe some of you have. Maybe some of you had to deal with that at first and then learn a better way of handling it. But when I see the Knight of Pentacles, this is somebody treading very slowly and very carefully, not wanting to be somebody for destruction. After all, deer do not destroy. They're the ones usually who are hunted. But here I'm getting the sense of somebody who's really had to learn how to, excuse that very loud car in the background, pile 2. But it's like you've had to understand the gravity of your own power, because you didn't want to be somebody who like other people around them maybe. has caused destruction to other people. Maybe you've seen friends of yours, or maybe even masculine figures, or maybe just people in general, powerful people in general, go crazy with that power, and you did not want to become that. So for a while, you were kind of afraid of it. It's like, no, I never want to be in charge because I don't want to be like that person. But here's the thing, pile two, you are so different from everybody else. You have such a heart. You have such a, I just keep getting a big sense of love in the heart, like a big sense of altruism here. I keep getting somebody who is very understanding. You're not like everybody else. So there's no way you could be like these people that do take a misuse of power. And, you know, unfortunately, that's just how they are. You're not like that, because at the very least you see it. And if you were to ever identify it within yourself, you know you would call it back and actually be somebody who is very accountable for the things that they are. I think people really appreciate that you're actually, that you're very understanding, and that you're very grounded, and that you take accountability for all your faults. This is somebody who, you're somebody who you wouldn't, I'm trying to put it into words, you wouldn't just do something wrong and then not own up to it. You know how to apologize. You know how to make people feel seen and heard and understood. And I think this is something people really love about you, because there's a lot of love for you. The amount of love that I get being poured into you from others around you, I don't think you understand the gravity of your energy, the gravity of your understanding. People truly admire you. And this is why we come to the Six of Cups. This love that you pour into your community and to the people around you is going to be given back to you tenfold. And I feel like at one point you were kind of afraid of sharing this love. Maybe you overgave at some point. Maybe you were somebody who gave too much and then got nothing in return. And that kind of made you a little bitter, and maybe that made you a little, hardened. It made you like this little butterfly, afraid to come out of your shell. Maybe it turned you into something ugly because you thought that life was just going to keep taking from you. But what I'm seeing is that you really had to understand, well, one, this radical self-love, the radical self-acceptance. Not only that, but in loving yourself, you learn to love other people. I know I keep using that word, but that's just the only way I can really say it. This beautiful energy that you engulf other people in, letting them know that they're safe, that they're okay, that they're meant to thrive, that they are meant to grow. I feel like even some of the friends you've had understand this, whether you've had to explain it to them or not. There's just this energy around you that people feel very safe and calm around you. It's very beautiful. If you have children, or if you have, smaller people that look up to you, they really love you. It's very beautiful. Like, it's making me want to cry. This is how lovely this is, pile two. With the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups, you've had to walk away from things that you thought you wanted but weren't. The way I was told to read this card, the Eight of Cups, it's sometimes walking away when you think you have it made, because you know you're meant for better things, or because you know there's something else out there. It's like you've completed your journey. Let me leave here and move on to something else. And I feel like this is the one thing people wish they could keep of you. It's like they wish you wouldn't have to leave when it just seems that there's more to keep giving or more to keep going. But I feel like you know your calling. You know when it's time to leave. Like, you're somebody who would leave the party in the middle of the party. Not at the end of the party, but at the height of it, or just at the right time. There's something about divine timing when it comes to your life here, pile two. And I'm having a hard time putting this into words. I wish I could translate energy sometimes a little bit better. But you definitely bring a lot of riches and abundance. You bring a lot of beautiful things to you, and people wish they could keep you around forever. But you're not meant to stay in one place forever. You're not meant to stay in one place for a long time. You have several callings. You have several people out there that are waiting for you to help them out. And this is why you go on. Like I said, the number 8, it's interesting because number 8 is the sign of infinity. It's like there's always something else on the horizon for you. So you're going to keep going to where you are needed, because you know that's your place in life, is to go to where you are needed, so that you can better somewhere or something or the people around there. With the 3 of Swords and the Queen of Wands, this is that radical self-love that I keep bringing up. I think at some point, either when you were younger or maybe in a very particular relationship, you were exactly what you were always meant to be, a very strong, confident, powerful person, somebody nobody could tear down. And then somebody tore you down. I don't know who this person was. It could have been a number of people, it could have been an environment, it could have even been your own family, for all we know, because the Three of Swords, I think of somebody who is like actually very close to you. It could have been a partner. They saw you in all your glory and all your power and all this beautiful energy that you were born with, that it was innate within you. This person or people or environment shut you down. So it was like you had to relearn to love yourself. You had to relearn to be this thriving, beautiful, energetic person that you are, because I see you having been born with all the gifts that you wanted and then somebody shut you down. And it's very unfortunate that they had to do this, but at the same time, it's like if you hadn't learned to restart this, how would you know how to overcome everything? Because I do feel that in this lifetime you may get a lot of criticism from other people, or you may have to learn how to deal with criticisms from other people, or maybe even help people who are going to go through the same thing. And it's like, I keep hearing, how dare anybody make you think or believe that you are less than you are, pile 2. You were born this beautiful divine being, this wonderful person, and somebody decided to bring you down, either out of envy or because whatever it may be, whatever it was. I feel like whoever this is, I feel like this is definitely in the past. I feel like a lot of you will know who and what this is. This is something you're not going to have to deal with anymore. You're already in this energy where you know you deserve better, at the very least, pile 2. But I feel like whoever these people were, they wanted to shut you down because they were afraid of the gravity of your power. Again, there is something here about not only you being afraid of your own power, but like other people being afraid of it as well. And what this is that people kind of, when they don't know what to do with something so magnificent, the first thing they want to do is shut it down. And that's what you were, pile 2. But then your intuitive awakening came, and it came out of nowhere. It could have been due to this person. It could have been due to this environment. If you're not there already, you might have it again. I say again. Sometimes spiritual awakenings come several times, but I feel like for a lot of you, you've already have gone through it, and it came out of nowhere. It probably was caused by either a relationship, a person, a work situation. It came on sudden, and you were probably either afraid of it or felt crazy at first. I mean, a lot of us do. But what I'm seeing is that it's going to be long lasting. Because here we have, I love that you chose this particular deck, pile 2. The Wild Unknown is one of my favorites. But here we have 2 trees, and here we have the tower being torn down. It's like, yeah, you can tear down this one tree, but the trees will keep growing back. The trees will keep growing back. Your intuition was never meant to be shut down. It was never meant to be dead. We are all born with intuition. It is a muscle that we all work. But in this case, I think like you got a little jump start in this lifetime, or at least your guides made sure that like you had a very direct awakening. Let's put it that way, because the tower can be unforeseen circumstances, but sometimes I see it as like very direct and very obvious things happening in your life. Honestly, when something is just a little too on the nose, you can't say it's, out of nowhere. But with the Page of Pentacles, I do see there being a lot of stability. And the King of Cups. Like I said, for some of you, you're going to have somebody in this lifetime that is going to help you out in building something amazing, whether that's a family, a community, or even your own spiritual life path, whatever this may be. But I'm truly loving this energy, pile 2. I do see you, your guides come in the form of nocturnal creatures, I'm hearing. For some of you, it could be bats, it could be owls, it could even be, why am I hearing possums? Maybe some of you like possums. I do see a lot of animals being your spirit guides, so don't be surprised if you have dreams about very particular animals sometimes. I know I've had dreams of deer. And even though deer are not supposed to be nocturnal animals, I think recently I did some research and they've become nocturnal so that they can avoid, like the daytime hunters or something along those lines. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't hunt deer, but I know that deer hunting is a thing, and a lot of people do like to hunt deer at night. So I guess you could see deer as nocturnal creatures now. There's also a lot about transformation. Within this lifetime, you will go through several transformations, and maybe some of you don't want to hear that. But we have the butterfly, we have the snake, both very transformative animals. But the biggest thing about this particular lifetime that you've chosen, pile 2, and I feel like everybody chooses this, but not to the extent you do. It's love. And not just romantic love, not just even love of family or the love of pets and animals and all things cute. It's the love of humanity. I feel like this is something you wanted to come into because maybe you came into a lifetime where you feel that humanity is kind of at a loss or that things are just going not so great. But you're meant to remind people what true love is, and true love is community and the compassion we have for each other as human beings. This is such beautiful energy, pile 2. I hope these messages are hitting through. I'm a little in and out right now trying to channel this because it's just so overwhelming and abundant, and your guides are so proud of you and they're with you every step of the way. You have a lot of guides, by the way. It's like a very strong community. A very strong community. Maybe some of you have ancestors with like a lot of family members. I know that can be the case as well. But yeah, this is very beautiful energy. But let's move on to your closing advice. And I want to thank you again for letting me read for you. I feel like I don't thank my subscribers enough. I recently hit 1,000 subscribers, and I'm just very proud. I'm very proud of myself, and I'm so grateful that a lot of you find my readings very helpful as well. So for closing advice, we're going to start with the Audacity deck from my beautiful pile 2. Anything else from your spirit guides that wants to come through? We have the last hurrah. This is number 30. I'm being told to get another one to clarify that one. The dead end job, 31. So I feel like a lot of you will go through several endings in this lifetime when it comes to certain endeavors. It's almost like every ending is a new beginning, but there's something here about you taking endings, I don't want to say seriously, but it's kind of like people don't like it when things end with you. Let's put it that way. People do not like it when things end with you because you create such an impact. I know a lot of you don't want to hear this, but it's coming through very strongly. The day you finally pass, pile 2, it's going to be very memorable. You're going to have so many people around you because you will have touched so many people to their soul, create such a sense of community. Like, people are going to miss you so much. And it's weird that that's coming through because I know a lot of you are nowhere near that age right now. Like, I know a lot of you, but like, I guess some of you just need to understand the impact you will have on this life, in this lifetime, on a lot of people. It's going to be so profound that whatever it is that you're doing, whatever your life goal is, whatever your vision is, you keep going for it, pile 2. Keep going for it because you are creating such amazing things. And I had a similar message in pile 1. I think I remember that. I guess the spirit guides in this reading right now are letting all my viewers know that even if you're in a dead-end job, even if you're doing things that you think are not important right now, know that right now is just like one small fraction of your life that may or may not be the biggest impact, but you will come across things that are so important. You will create things that are going to be so impactful. People are going to love the things that you have to say, do, or create, or manifest with them. Let's go ahead and get your angel cards, your guardian, or sorry, your angel tarot card. This is a tarot deck, but I'm using it as an oracle. For my pile 2, we have the King of Water. Trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice. Charity work. Yes, a lot of you are just, there's a big sense of like emotional well-being within you, and you instill this within people. I feel like a lot of you are going to be just such a great mentor. You're going to be somebody people can really come to share so much wisdom and to teach them the things and the ways that maybe in their own lifetimes they have not been taught. I'm seeing somebody who's like either like a kind of like a parent to people who didn't really have great parents. That's the kind of energy I'm getting. Or maybe like a very wise elder person trying to impart information on a younger culture or like the youth around them. Let's get another one. The Hermit. Archangel Raziel. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, and self-discovery. So I feel like some of you are actually going to be spiritual leaders or teachers without really meaning to. I don't think it's going to be something that you go out of your way to do. It might just come very naturally to you, or maybe people will seek you out for this. And then, of course, there's going to be some of you who actually do this because, I mean, you are at a tarot reading. So there's a chance that you're probably already very spiritual to begin with. But I do see you just being somebody that the community really loves and adores because there's something about your heart, your love, your energy that people truly admire. And it's like, you're going to be the kind of person people wish was their parent. That's for sure. Let's go ahead and get your some cards from the Work Your Light deck. By the way, Archangel Raziel could be one of your angels for those of you who work with angels. I know not everybody does, but just in case you do. I do from time to time just because that's how I was taught. We have the initiation, rite of passage, and crossing the threshold. This just keeps coming through. There's like something amazing you're going to create in this lifetime pile too. It's going to differ for everybody, of course, but there's a lot about imparting wisdom on like the generations to come. It's like you want to build something for the future. And then Imrama. Where are you being called to journey to? I feel like there's going to be a lot of places that you go to in this lifetime. Some of you could travel a lot, or some of you could just build a lot of things everywhere. Like maybe you create, for some reason I'm being shown somebody who likes to create schools or maybe practices that are going to be very beneficial to the people around them. Especially if you're like a doctor, for example, you might open practices in places that really need them. Or maybe you just create a sense of community everywhere. We're going to get some Pokemon cards, because why not? We have, if you knew that, why did you do that? If you knew that, why did you do that? Again, there's something here about being held accountable for the things that you've done in your life, but I feel like this is only something that empowers you. I'm also hearing that you really teach people how to be better people. Like that's going to be one of the things you do. Like I said, it's very parental energy. Like maybe some of you are just going to be really good parents, or you're going to teach kids how to be, I say kids, teach people that there's nothing wrong with being imperfect, that it's just all part of the human experience, because you yourself understand that as well. And then we have, oh, I love this. Attention is the most coveted resource. I feel like in this lifetime, you're going to gain a lot of attention. Because, oh, and this is an eclipse too. Maybe eclipses are important. You're uncovering something that doesn't typically come to the light. This is kind of like shadow work. Maybe some of you are going to help people with their own shadow work, but like on a grander scale. I'm going to get one more Pokemon cards because these are actually coming out pretty awesome. Because there's a lot of like contrast here between light and dark. It's like some of you are bringing light to the darkness, or allowing people to see their own darkness so that they can bring it to the light. We have Ninetales. Lure. Each time you win, it takes away a little bit of the hunger, a battle in your mind to go to that same place you've been before. And Outlast. They say the first success is the hardest, but it is the last success that is the hardest, because now you are battling with yourself. Yeah. This is pretty awesome. Why am I seeing somebody who is like in a, like either, I'm seeing like a dojo or like martial arts. Maybe some of you are into that. But like you teach people to better themselves through this, but it's like a mind, body, and spirit kind of thing. Or maybe yoga as well. I don't know. I'm seeing that. And it's not the first time I've seen this within a reading. Maybe some of my viewers are like into MMA or something. Or jiu-jitsu or taekwondo or any of those. It could also just be, I don't know, maybe it's because I associate like 90s Pokemon cards with that, because I guess that's just how I grew up. But take that if it resonates, pile 2. That's not going to be for everybody, of course. All right, we're going to get some animal cards. We have this one. Oh, and it's a mother breastfeeding her child. Watching the ducks, nurturing. Helping things grow is so rewarding. Whether it's a garden, an idea, or a tiny child, what can you nurture? There's a lot of nurturing energy within this pile. You're going to nurture a lot of beautiful things within this lifetime. In fact, I think that came out in the oracles and I didn't go into depth about it. For some of you, having children will actually help a lot. If not your own children, maybe just helping raise children will also be a big thing. I see you really caring about like future generations here. Let's get another card. Oh, the squirrel. Didn't the squirrel come out in the oracles? I want to say it did. Cheerful squirrel, treasure. The memories you make with your loved ones are your true treasures. Yeah, in this lifetime, you are meant to have a family to make amazing memories with. Whether it's a found family or your own biological, you're meant to have happy moments with your family. We also have this one. I love this. She's dancing with the rabbits. Dancing with hares, energy. When you flow with energy, you inspire others to dance too. You're going to be a very inspirational person, pile 2. Your guides are going to help you with this. Your guides want to let you know that you were put on this earth. You were incarnated into this lifetime to create some amazing things. People they already love you. I'm just going to say it. They already love you, and they're going to love you even more because you have so much to offer the world. You have so much to give, and you have such a big heart. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile 2. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I really do hope this reading made sense because I feel like it was a little bit all over the place. You have a lot of guides and they all love you and they all want to say so many things to you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose the Goddess of Love Tarot, then we have your mystery reading here from your spirit guides. If you've never done a mystery reading with me, the way it works is we don't really have a question or a theme in mind. We just kind of tap into whatever the cards are trying to tell us. And in this case, we're tapping into your spirit guides, your spirit team as well. If you don't know who your spirit guides or spirit team are, we might get to meet them through this reading. It's kind of weird. This is the first pile where I'm hearing some of you might actually get to meet some of them. Maybe you don't really connect with your spirit guides too much. But essentially, they're the team that you kind of collaborate with before you reincarnate into this world to let you know how your journey is going to go, your life journey, your spiritual journey, or anything else. Some of them are with you throughout your lifetime. Some of them come and go. And then some of them are actually either past life versions of yourself or people that you know. We're also going to tap into gods and goddesses because our guides can come in the form of different deities, like the masks of deities, if you will. It's kind of a lot. It's kind of weird. This reading has been a little bit all over the place so far, but I kind of wanted to tap into this because I know a lot of people ask me about their spirit guides. But I don't want you to worry so much about who they are. What I'm hearing for this pile is worry more about the messages that you're getting as well as the advice that is wanting to come through. Because like I said, some of you don't really know your spirit guides. You might be a little bit intimidated by them or you don't communicate with them a lot. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and start with some oracles. We're going to look into the tarot after we're done with the oracles. And the oracles are going to give us an indication of who your spirit guides are, like what you have collaborated with them before you reincarnated into this world to see what kind of goals and what kind of life you're meant to have. It's kind of, like I said, it's been odd. So if you come from another pile and this feels a little different, just go with it. That's what I'm hearing. But yeah, let's get your cards. Let's get your cards, pile 3. Very interesting energy. I feel like this is my pile of people who, like I said, you just don't really tap in with your spirit guides a lot. Okay, so for my pile 3, we have great teacher. Learn from spiritual experiences. Some of you have a history of like a particular religious background or maybe a spiritual background. And I feel like that really colored your perspective on spirituality in general. And now you're coming into like a very different way of seeing spirituality. This is especially true if, for example, you grew up with like a very Christian background. And even though you don't really go along with the overall idea of Christianity, you're very spiritual. I see this a lot within people. It doesn't necessarily have to be Christianity. It could be any other religious background. But I feel like that really colored your perspective. And this may be a reason why you kind of hesitate with tapping into your spirituality or your spirit guides. Let's get another card. We have Water Guardian, connect with your emotions. So you're definitely more more nature-based. Some of your guides come in the form of elements, if that makes sense. I'll explain this in a moment because I see this a lot. And we also have air guardian. Yeah, we have air and water. Shift your perception, connect with your emotions. So some of you could have a combination of air and water within your chart, your astrological chart, but that doesn't have to be the case. But what I mean by you tapping into the elements and nature, I feel like your guides come in the form of either weather patterns, messages from nature. And in some cases, for those of you who like, I know this is odd, I don't really bring up fairies a lot. Maybe you believe in like woodland creatures or something about nature coming through. And the way this works sometimes is, for example, let's say you're feeling a certain way and then like it'll start raining or there'll be thunder or there'll be a certain weather pattern that arrives that kind of gives you a message about something. I see this a lot. I used to see this quite often. Whenever I would meet with certain people and the weather would just be very different. I feel like this is how your spirit guides come through. They come through in the form of nature. They come through the earth, really. I feel like you reincarnated into this world so that you could live a human experience, to experience the beauty of nature. So for a lot of you, your spirit guides are actually quite literally trees, wind, earth, water. I'm hearing Captain Planet. So for a lot of you, your spirit guides are actually elements, and you could see it as a way of them communicating with you. If you don't want to see them as like the actual elements themselves being guides, you could see it as the way that your guides communicate with you is through water, through wind, through weather patterns, even through the nature you surround yourself with. Don't be surprised if you see like certain types of animals or certain types of just natural phenomena that really speak to you in certain ways. I'm also hearing for some of you, crystals will speak to you. That's not going to be everybody, but crystals are part of the earth. After all, they are rocks. They come from this beautiful planet and they communicate to you through them, if that makes any sense. If you haven't tried it before, I would highly recommend that you maybe pick a very particular crystal, maybe go looking for one, really set an intention to have it be like one that is a channel for you, and maybe use that as a crystal in which you can communicate with your spirit guides rather directly, or a little bit more directly than usual. I guess that's not going to be for everybody, but that's very interesting. The elements are coming through. Nature is coming through for you, pile 3. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. We're going to use the gods and goddesses deck. And you could see this as like the masculine and feminine energies of your spirit guides, or you could just see this as deities that you may work closely with that also resemble your guides in a way. We have Aphrodite, self-love, which is funny because you also chose the goddess of love tarot. So for some of you, relationships are going to be rather important in this lifetime, or a preoccupation with if not relationships, then friendships. There's something here about the connections you make in this lifetime that are important. You will reincarnate with people from your past lives in this lifetime is what I'm hearing. You've already met some of them. Whether they're in your life for right now or not is irrelevant. What I'm hearing is that you have met people from past lives. We also have Jeanne d'Arc, faith. Yeah, there's an odd battle within yourself sometimes. Maybe this is more past energy than current, but it's like having to balance like a very chaste and pure kind of energy versus this self-love, beautiful, sensual energy that you are, especially if you're feminine. But even if you're not, I feel like there's kind of like having to balance these two things out, because in some, either in a past lifetime or maybe even in this one, you felt that they couldn't coexist. It's very much like a Madonna whore complex, but not exactly. Some of you have really had to struggle with this, or maybe this is something you're currently working through. So your guides are both parts pure and sensual. And for some of you, you might have a hard time dissecting this, or maybe this is something you really thought through. Let's get another goddess card. Hera, commitment. Yeah, first, like I said, for some of you, there's important partnerships in this lifetime that you are, you might have a bit of a preoccupation with relationships. I'm not going to lie, pile 3. And there's nothing wrong with this, but there is something here about your sensuality, your partnerships, your even your friendships. Not codependency exactly, but you are definitely meant to reincarnate in this lifetime with somebody from a past life. It's almost like, not to feed any delusions about anybody who's been awful to you, pile 3. I'm just letting you know that because I can already tell some of you are going in that way. But the person or people for those of you who might have multiple marriages, that you marry or that you partner up with in this lifetime are people from your past that you have kind of made a contract with to create better futures. Like every lifetime, every next lifetime, you decide to get better or to build something or to right a wrong. And it's very interesting. I'm quite literally seeing you ask people like, hey, in the next lifetime, let's do something better or let's create something better. That's not going to be everybody, of course, but for this pile, like there's a lot of love or dealings with love in this particular energy. And it's all good. Like it's all positive. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. We have well, let's get them the God cards, the masculine God cards. But for a while, I think some of you might currently be in an energy where you feel that you don't need anybody, and that's okay. That's what I'm getting from Jeanne d'Arc or Joan of Arc here. But deep down, there is a need to express love in a way that can only be expressed with a partner. Because I'm kind of seeing like a Kundalini awakening. And if you've never had one, it feels very sensual. It literally feels very lovely, all up through the spine, up and down your body. It feels sensual, but what it is, it's the life force. And maybe for some of you in this lifetime, you were meant to be nurturers, you were meant to be parents, you were meant to bring children into this world. That's not going to be for everybody because you kind of wanted to create more wonderful people. I know that sounds very odd and that's not going to be for everybody. So only take that if it resonates. If not children, it could be creations itself. It could be artwork. It could be ideas. It could be communities. It could be something about creating something in this lifetime with the people that you love to make a better future is very important. Let's go ahead and get your God cards though. From my pile 3. Also, lots of beauty here. For those of you who feel that you are not enough or that you just do not look amazing, I'm here to tell you, you are a very beautiful person, like physically and internally, pile 3, because all these women are just so gorgeous. And you don't have to be a woman to be gorgeous, of course. I mean, like, even if you identify as a man, there's something about your beauty that is really impactful on the world, both physically and in a more, I'm hearing ethereal sense, in a less physical sense. It's something intangible that really brings people to their knees, I'm hearing. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. We have Vishnu, balance. Yeah, something about balancing energies is very important in this lifetime for you. Anubis, protection. And Jizo, support. So the masculine energies in your life are very interesting. I feel like they... Oh, back of the deck, Odin. I love Odin. Let me leave him here. What I'm seeing is that the masculine energies in your lifetime were meant to support you and embrace you and be part of something that makes you a lot stronger, but you don't necessarily need them. I'm seeing somebody who is very self-reliant on themselves, but they also understand that, yes, well, it's nice to have a partner or somebody else around. You don't necessarily need them, but you do appreciate the balance, the support, and the protection that they provide. I'm seeing somebody very confident in everything that they have and very capable of doing everything. And I feel like you wanted this in this lifetime, even though, again, you were meant to reincarnate with certain partners. It might be multiple partners, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing either. It's more like you understand that everybody that you create a life with or even try to create a life with is going to impact you in a positive way. It's kind of like people really add to our sense of self in a way. Like, we learn through people, we learn through being with them, we learn through loving them, we learn through how they love us in return. And it's rather beautiful, but I do see you eventually like wanting to create something with somebody. Well, maybe create somebody with somebody, but create something with somebody who is going to be, it's going to be very pivotal. It's not necessarily a family, because for some of you, you might just have like the one child, but this child ends up being somebody who is very important or a key player in something rather, I'm hearing profound. So I'm not sure, maybe for those of you who already have children, you already know your kid's going to be something important or amazing, but only take that if it resonates. But your masculine energies are very subtle. Like, it's rather lovely. You definitely decided to embody very strong feminine energy in this lifetime, pile 3. Again, this explains why you chose the Goddess of Love tarot. And this explains why you kind of are very much in love with nature. A lot of you are very much nature babies, or you would sooner rely on the protection and guidance of like the trees, the earth, the mountains, the wind, as opposed to certain people. Even though you very much do love people, even though you very much do have certain people that love you back as well. For some reason, this is going to be my pile of people who probably at least marry once to see how it is, and maybe multiple times. Take that only if it resonates, because there is something important here about relationships, but yet at the same time, it's not. It's kind of like you find empowerment through yourself when you're in a relationship, but you don't really need the relationship, if that makes sense. I know that's very odd. But your spirit guides are here to tell you that they bring people in and out of your life so that you can really learn through and with them. In a very positive way. You get a lot of support, and you get a lot of with commitment. I feel like multiple people may even propose to you, or multiple people may want to tie you down, but I don't really see you kind of settling or caring that much. Like, you do and you don't. I don't know, it kind of goes back and forth. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. Let's get your astro cards to get a little bit more clarification from your guides. But there is a lot of independence here. Also a lot of wisdom. A lot of you are actually rather intelligent, but people don't really, they kind of don't want to believe it, or they have a hard time accepting it because you're just so, again, there's something here about your physical beauty and the energy you radiate that makes people want to misunderestimate you, or make believe that, oh, there's no way this person could think any deeper than how they look, but you're actually rather intelligent. We have the second house of resources. Again, the sensuality is coming through. Typically, I see the second house as sensuality, even though it is resources. It can be money. It can be material goods. I do feel you're going to have a very good life in this particular lifetime. Like, your guides make it a point to bring you either money or like physical material items that are going to be good for you. And then the other card is 12th house introspection. So there's been a lot of, let me rearrange these because I don't like how the glare is right there. So the 12th house is introspection, and I feel like a lot of you have done a lot of soul searching, and I do mean a lot of soul searching to figure out what it is that you want, what it is that you need. And maybe this comes through in cycles as well. I feel like every year you go through a period of, where am I now? What do I want? Who am I? And am I still on board with the person I used to be? It's very serious energy, but I feel like you take your emotions rather seriously. That's why you have the water guardian. Water, after all, corresponds with emotions. So you're not afraid of your emotional side, but you're also not afraid of your rational side. And I feel like these two are always at odds with each other. If not at odds, then in like a very interesting dance of cat and mouse, if let's say. It's very interesting, the dynamic you have within yourself, pile 3. And I feel like your guides kind of... I'm kind of seeing your guides enjoying watching you figure things out, because you really do, you live a very interesting life. Because I'm seeing, like, you know how a parent will watch a child sometimes just play with their toys and see what they're up to, and they don't know what they're up to, but they're up to something, and it's just really adorable. That's the way your guides see you. They understand that you have a very independent streak, and they kind of like to watch you figure things out because they know you will. They know that you can handle it. Back of the deck for the Astro is what I'm being told to look at. Retrograde review. Yeah, you're in your head a lot more than you believe you are, or than people would think, especially if you're a very social and outgoing person. I don't think people would understand just how much you actually think, how much you are in your head, how much that beautiful brain of yours works. And if people were able to even glimpse into your thought process, I think they'd be overwhelmed. It's giving very strong air energy, like Libra or Gemini, where and I love my air signs because they can be such beautiful, wonderful people. But if people knew how they thought, it'd be a little chaotic. Like, they would think they're a little bit of a mastermind. And this is how your guides see you. I think they see you to your truest core, because not a lot of people know the real you, or at the very least, you don't show it to everybody. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. We're using the trash animals, the trash animals deck for my pile 3. Beautiful energy, by the way. I'm really loving this. We have pigeon, bravery. Squirrel, unpredictability. So you get bouts of like restlessness where you do some crazy things sometimes, and people kind of have a hard time understanding this. But it's kind of like I'm seeing from Aladdin, the Disney version of Aladdin, where Jasmine is just this beautiful girl, like she just has it all. She's a princess, but she gets bored and she wants to go out and like see the rest of the world. That's what I'm seeing. This is how the universe sees you, pile 3. So full of love. You literally have everything at your fingertips, but you're like, no, I want to see how everybody else is, and I want to see what everybody else sees that I don't get to see, even though I know I have it good. So this bravery and unpredictability coupled with your radiance is something that people just truly fall in love with. I don't think you understand. Like, your guides are here to tell you that you have so many people who admire you and want to be like you or want to be with you. Let's get another card from the Trash Animals Oracle. We have Seagull, responsiveness. So you're not somebody who likes to stand around. Again, you kind of give off this vibe of somebody who is meant to be like a queen or a princess or some sort of royalty that's not really meant to do anything. But then people get to know you and it's like, oh wow, this person actually does something. And I think that kind of intimidates a lot of people. And for like both good and bad, it's like, it would be one thing if you were just a pretty face or a pleasant person to be around, but when people find out that you actually have a lot more power and a lot more intellectual ability, they kind of get nervous because it's like, this person is a little bit unstoppable. Your guides are here to tell you that they make it a point to make you unstoppable, to make sure that people really respect you in the way that you're meant to be respected. If you ever see people just come in and out of your life or people that don't last long, it's because your guides knew right away that this person or these people wouldn't be able to treat you the way you're meant to be treated. So there's something here about your energy not being for everybody. It's kind of top to your energy. And if you don't feel this right now, pile 3, I feel like you will. Like I said, you really do intimidate people. It wouldn't surprise me if you ended up being somebody in a position of power, especially with the second house here, because I do see you making quite a bit of money, or making, if not money, then having a lot of influence over people who do make a lot of money, believe it or not. I feel like the people in your life are just really meant to come in to help you out because you're very independent. Despite what you look like, despite even your notions of relationships and love, you are meant to be very independent, and the people around you are meant to help you out. I'm literally seeing like a king or a queen being surrounded by by their people. And I know if you don't like the idea of monarchies or anything like that, just, you can ignore that. But I'm seeing somebody who is very capable of anything, and people can't help but want to help you out. And not only do your guides do this, but I feel like they bring people into your life who will help you do this as well. Let's go ahead and get your feminine oracle cards. Beautiful energy, by the way. A lot of this feels very feminine, but like I said, you do not have to be feminine. You could also just be a masculine with who like accepts their feminine energy very strongly. I see this a lot with men who grew up around sisters and mothers and aunties that just really respect that kind of energy. But let's go ahead and get your cards. We have with wise. There's a lot of wisdom within you. And I think that's just one thing that throws people off. And this is what your guides bring to you. Your guides bring a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge, because they know you have a need for mental stimulation that you find very hard to find either the right amount of or like the right kind of. It's like you wouldn't be satisfied just going to a library. You need connection with earth and nature. Like, you need the knowledge that you have to make sense to you on a practical level and on a more, I almost said altruistic, but on a more profound level. Very spiritual. But your spirituality doesn't seem very spiritual to some people because of how you may express it. Because for you, spirituality can be a little bit sensual, and or it could be a little bit more, like, I'm getting earth energy, like strong Taurus or even Capricorn here, or Scorpio. Like, to you, the body, the mind, and the spirit are all one and the same. And I'm seeing Pocahontas. Every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. Maybe some of you are Disney fans. All right, let's get another card. We have aligned. So within this lifetime, you were really meant to be aligned with your life purpose. But your life purpose may not come until a little bit later in life, maybe a little bit later than you want, because I'm seeing somebody who doesn't really fully embrace their life purpose until maybe halfway through life. But that's okay, because you're meant to live a very long life, pile 3. I don't think you understand. Not only are you going to age like fine wine, you're going to embark on certain journeys much later in life. But that's only because you want to be in a really good mindset. You knew if you were to do this in your 20s or maybe even 30s, you wouldn't be ready. So you wanted to do it at the right time. Let's get another card. So we have this one, and I don't know if I can say this word or not, because I know YouTube's weird about this word, but ABUSED. So I feel like in this lifetime you've actually gone through quite a bit, whether it was emotional or physical. I feel like you didn't deserve the things that you've gone through, pile 3. You really didn't. You didn't deserve to be treated the way you were. But there was something here about, how do I say this without making it sound odd, or without making it sound, you understand that you needed to see a little bit of the ugly in the world in order to really heal it. It's like you weren't afraid, and you wanted to see just enough of it so that you could understand why people had to do that, so that you could heal others around you. Because there's something very healing about your energy. It's like you have a way of understanding people without them telling you anything. And people who truly love you, and it's quite a lot of people, appreciate this about you, that they don't have to tell you everything in order for you to understand them. I'm seeing a few people in your life that are going to be like this. One of them is going to be a life partner. I don't know if it's the one you're meant to be with forever, but there's definitely somebody here who really appreciates that they don't have to explain everything to you, that you just kind of get them. And maybe in some cases it could even be friends as well. Like you might just have certain friends, you don't really have to talk much, you just understand them and get them. And this sense of knowing, this innate intuition, is part of, well, one, it's part of your beauty, believe it or not. I think for a lot of you, your intuitiveness and your beauty go hand in hand, and I don't typically see that, but it's rather lovely. But people really appreciate that you're able to provide such wisdom, and even when you feel that you can't provide wisdom, or that you don't know what to say, or that you don't know what to do, they appreciate that your energy is there to help them heal. You have a very beautiful healing energy, pile 3. Your spirit guides instilled this within you. They teach you how to do this. I feel like they've been with you for a long time. Even when you felt alone, they've always been with you, because they just really cherish you. Some of your spirit guides are family members, like maybe ancestors, or quite literally family members that have passed on, that just want to see you do nothing but thrive and be the most beautiful version of yourself. And then for some of you, it'll be people, believe it or not, and I've been seeing this quite more frequently lately, I'm not sure why. Some of your spirit guides are going to be future people. So this could be like your future children, your future grandchildren, or nieces, nephews, like people who will be in your life in the future. So when they finally meet you in like in the human space, they're able to they just get excited about you. You will know this because when you see them as a child, because you will see them as children, they're going to be just so excited to see you. It's like, it's always a pleasure to see you, is what I'm hearing. And they're just really going to love you, and they want to carry on whatever it is that you do in this lifetime. They want to carry on that combination of beauty, wisdom, and absolute, I'm hearing for some of you, power. Like, you're not going to see it as power, but it actually is power. And that's very interesting, because I think for some of you, and I feel like this came up in another reading, I want to say it was one of the previous piles, like you didn't want your power to be the same thing as the power you've previously witnessed, where people tend to, go overboard with it or have a controlling nature. You wanted power to be something that is very love-based and very heart-focused and very human. Very human. This is all such beautiful energy, pile 3. If you're still with me, if you're still resonating with this, and if I'm making any sense, because I'm kind of coming in and out of channeling right now, then let's move on to the tarot portion to see what else your spirit guides would like you to know, what they would like to tell you, and any other guides that want to come through. And while I'm here, I would like to thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you. I've been doing this channel now for a little bit under a year, and I've just been so proud of it. I'm glad that people do find some comfort and some solace in the things that I put out here because I've been doing tarot forever. But honestly, I feel like I get so much more gratification when people actually benefit from the things that I channel. Again, thank you so much for letting me read for you, and thank you for your patience. My voice hasn't come back fully. I think I was sick for like 2 weeks, and so if I sound a little bit different from my other videos, that's why. But let's move on to the tarot portion for you, pile 3. So the way I'm going to do this, we're going to do the top part is going to be messages from your guides, and then we're just going to clarify them with the very same deck. And for a lot of you, I'm hearing there's a poem by Lord Byron, She Walks Within Beauty. Maybe some of you would benefit from that. It's weird. I don't typically channel poetry. I used to study poetry, but I don't really channel that because I know not a lot of people are into it. But maybe this is going to be my pile of people who really love art and literature. That wouldn't surprise me. I'm getting very strong Venusian vibes in this pile. So Libra, Taurus, hello, my fellow Tauruses, for those of you who are very much resonating with that. All right, for my pile 3, we have the 5 of Cups. We have the 3 of Swords, the 3 of Wands, the Maiden of Cups, and I want to say the Maiden here is the Page of Cups. And the 8 of Swords. Pile 3. I'm sending you so much love because you did not choose an easy life. You did not choose an easy life, and I think this is why your spirit guides just make it a big point to cherish you, or make it a point to, like, they want you to connect with them so much more directly because they have so much love to offer you. They have so much wisdom to impart on you, and I'll explain in a moment because I've recently had to go through this, but let me go ahead and clarify these. For my beautiful pile 3, I'm sending you so much love, so much love. We have, this is the Knight of Pentacles. Slow but steady progress. Again, very sensual energy too. Pentacles to me is sensuality because it's earth energy. To clarify the 3 of Swords, we have the King of Wands. It's beautiful how you really are stepping into your absolute power within this lifetime. And it's not going to be in the way that you think either. For some people, they think stepping into your power means having to be in like masculine energy, going for everything, being aggressive. That's not the way you're doing it this lifetime, pile 3. You're actually taking a much more softer approach than most people would believe. We have the Void. This is the Fool. To clarify the 3 of Wands. Clarify the Page of Cups. We actually have 2 cards. We have the 4 of Wands and the Knight of Wands. Let me tell you, there's an awakening within you, and it came in the form of either sensuality or the form of a very particular relationship. Let's get one more card to clarify the 8 of Swords. We have the the Knight of Cups. So your journey is so interesting because I feel like for like the first part of your life, maybe even especially during childhood, you were kind of, oh, back of the deck, the Hierophant. Yeah, karmic lessons. So the first part of your life, your childhood, is going to be very different from the next part of your life. Like, I feel like your adulthood, you really came into power. You started really going after the things that you wanted, and in a very interesting way. I feel like as a child, you may have been disempowered, or you were kept away, or maybe you were very either coddled or just, I don't know. There's something about your childhood being absolutely nothing like your actual adulthood. And I feel like you wanted this for a reason. I feel like your spirit guides made it a point to like really keep you a little bit kept when you were a child, like very, very protected, very overprotected, actually. You may have had parents that were very overbearing or didn't want you to do anything. But part of the reason is because they just, whenever people see something so powerful and so like when people don't know what to do with something, they kind of want to keep it away. Because I'm being shown, again, Disney keeps coming through in this reading. I'm being shown Elsa, how her parents didn't know how to control her power, so they kind of just kept her away just for the safety of everybody. That's what I'm being shown. And that's kind of the dynamic that you have within your life. Like you're going to start off your childhood, or maybe your childhood, or even your early adulthood. It's going to be very, or it was, depending on where you are in life right now, very kept away from the world. Like you were kind of afraid to show your face. You were afraid of what it was that the universe had in store for you, because you felt that there wasn't anything great. But then you stepped into your power and you quite literally let it go, and you just became this amazing person, or you will become this amazing person. This is here for you in this lifetime, pile 3. Your guides are letting me know that you are meant for such great things, and you really just don't believe in it. And part of the reason they wish you would communicate with them more is because they have such loving energy to give you. When I first started tapping into my spirit guides, because for a while I kind of knew they were there, but I kind of ignored them because I saw them just like every other adult, like, oh, they don't have anything interesting to offer me. They're just going to tell me the same old, same old. But the thing is, my spirit guides, and I do this as much as I can. I try to do it regularly, daily, but sometimes it's more like every other day. They're just happy that you show up. They have nothing but beautiful love to offer you. Like they're going to be the people that offer you encouragement every day, that tell you every day that you're beautiful, that you're wonderful, because they know that's within you. Not because they're trying to make stuff up or anything here. That's not what they're doing. What they're showing you is exactly what you are capable of, because they know it's within you. And I do see that, again, in your childhood, maybe you were surrounded by people who weren't like this at all. So you thought, well, there's possibly no one out there who has anything good to tell me. But then you tap into your energy, into your spirituality, into this beautiful, blossoming, abundant energy of love around you. And you realize you're so protected and supported by your guides, whether they're your ancestors, whether they're the embodiments and forms of gods and goddesses here. They're here to help you out, and they're here to love you. A lot of you will become such great manifestors once you really become in tune with them. The 5 of Cups and the Knight. I keep saying page. The witches here are knights. So the Knight of Pentacles lets me know that it was a slow progress for you to accept a lot of how you feel. Maybe as a child you were told not to feel, or not to have any emotions, or that they weren't important. And as you've gotten older, you understood that your emotions are actually a big key indicator of how your life is meant to go, or how your life is meant to span out, because you're actually a very emotional person. Even if you have no water in your chart, you're a very emotional person, because you have the capacity to have a lot of empathy for people, because you want to see a better world. It's very interesting, because I've actually had conversations with people who don't have a lot of water in their chart, but there's some of the nicest people I've ever met, and there's some of the most lovely people, because the way they see emotions is very different. It's not through actual feeling, it's through thought. It's through thought communication and what's the word? Networking, I guess networking, like building a connection with people. That's what I'm seeing. So for you, emotions was something difficult to figure out, but you eventually, either you will get there or you have gotten there. I feel like a lot of you are on this journey. It may be a lifelong journey. The Knight of Pentacles does like to take his sweet little time. With the 3 of Swords and the King of Wands, this is such interesting energy, because the way and I feel like this came out in another pile. In some previous life, or maybe in this particular life, you tried to express this power that you have, or you tried to express like a much more I guess aggressive side. Maybe aggressive isn't the right word. You were a lot more assertive than you used to. Maybe as a young child you were a lot more assertive, but people really didn't respond to this as well, or maybe you were just in the wrong environment for the assertiveness that you have. It's kind of like, I'm trying to see, like, I see a kid who tries to make friends, but like nobody really responds to this friendship, because the friendship you have to offer, the love you have to offer to people, is just something that they're not used to. And whether this is a result of the environment you were in, or maybe just the kids you were around, like they didn't understand why you would want to be so loving and open and wonderful, and they just kind of like shut you off. That's the kind of energy I'm seeing. why am I being shown? I have not seen this movie in a long time, but Richie Rich trying to make friends with all these kids because he's alone and he has a lot of money, but these kids are like, whatever, this kid's just rich and they don't care about him. It's that kind of energy. Not saying that that's you, pile three. It's just kind of the analogy I'm being shown. I have also not seen that movie in such a long time. I think it's from the 90s. It's kind of an old movie, but still, it's kind of like people didn't know how to respond to you. So that in turn made you shut down and you've had to kind of like restart this again. With the Three of Wands and the Void, there is a resilience to you because that part of you that really likes to open up to people and see the best in them and just want to openly love and like celebrate them is something that couldn't really be stagnant for long. It may have been for a few years, maybe especially in your teens or 20s, early 20s, again, depending on what age you are. But like there's a part of you that just really truly loves people, loves to get to know people, wants to see people do better for themselves. And I feel like as you've gotten older or as you've reached out to people younger than you, people that you know would want your advice and help, people have really opened up to this. And they really do love this about you, that you have the capacity to love in such an open and honest way. The way an older sibling would love their younger sibling is the kind of love I'm seeing. And for a lot of people, I think they end up getting crushes on you regardless, because again, they just see somebody who is so open and warm to loving everybody here. But it's so interesting. And I feel like that's part of your life purpose. Like I said earlier, there's a beauty that radiates within you because of your spirituality. It goes hand in hand with you, pile three. Let's go ahead and look at the Page of Cups, the Four of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. Yeah, like I said earlier, a lot of people have crushes on you. People really do love you. I feel like you leave a trail of broken hearts around you, pile three. And I don't think you mean to do that on purpose. I just think not everybody knows how to handle you, but like people truly do adore you. People adore you. And I feel like maybe as you get older as well, you may have to learn how to not break people's hearts so much, or how to like set boundaries with people. Because I see this especially in like very Venusian type of people. They think just because they're being nice to them that they're flirting with them, but it's no, that's just you being a very genuine, caring person. That's what I'm seeing, a little bit of heartbreaker energy. But I do see the person you end up being with is going to be somebody who is just so smitten with you that you could do anything and they would not leave you. So again, you have to be very careful with that person, pile three, because I feel like this person would literally do anything for you. So you got to be very careful with their heart. And I feel like this person knows that too. So just be very tender with them. I feel like this person is going to love you forever. Even if you don't end up being together forever, you might end up, for example, if this ends up being like the parent of your child, I feel like you're always going to have them on a string somehow. Because there's something here about the love you have for this, the love they have for you, and the love that you just can't help but radiate back towards everybody else. This is such beautiful energy, pile three. Maybe for some of you, you already know who this person is and who that is. Let me know if you do. But with the Eight of Swords and the Knight of Cups, there is something here where you have a tendency, not to call you out, because I know it's been beautiful and rainbows up until now, but there is a tendency for you to shut down or to want to just, like, it's an anxiety. It's kind of an anxiety, but it's feeling helpless, feeling like you can't get anything done, or feeling like you can't get out of a certain situation. And it's interesting that it comes with the Knight of Cups, because the Knight of Cups usually follows their passion. So maybe in this lifetime, one of the struggles you've had to learn is how to follow your passion and not get discouraged when you don't see the results of it. For example, let's say you're really into some type of art and you want to create a living out of this art, but you feel like it's not going to bring you anything. You have to really learn how to follow your heart and not worry about the finances, which I know I know that's harder to say than it's so hard for me to hear too, because that's not realistic. But there's something here about not tying physical monetary gains with your passion, because at least in this lifetime, how do I put this? I'm not going to say they're misconstrued. It's kind of like they're not exactly going to go hand in hand, if that makes any sense. How do I put it? Like, I'm trying to figure out a good way to say this. Follow your heart, but don't expect it to pay off everything, is what I'm saying. Follow your heart, but also understand that Just because you don't find success in something that is your passion doesn't mean that it's not actually your passion. Keep following the things that you adore. If you're passionate about something, keep doing it, because it's not about how that's going to take care of you. It's about what it does for your soul. I think that's how I meant to say it. And then we have the Hierophant here. Again, karmic lessons are such a big key theme, and then judgment. So I feel like there's been lots of endings in your life. Endings and beginnings, because judgment can also be a beginning. I think people like to see it as an ending, but lately I've been learning to see it as something new, like an open door, because when one door closes, another one opens. So there's something about a lot of karmic lessons, but regardless, I feel like the life you are meant to have in this particular lifetime, the ones that your spirit guides want you to have, is one that is beautiful. So beautiful. And even finding beauty in the things that aren't beautiful, you know? Let's go ahead and... Well, no, I'm being told to look at the knights here, because you have the Knight of Pentacles, Wands, and Cups. The only one missing is Swords, which is interesting because I was getting a lot of air energy in the oracle. So something about communication is going to be very important within this lifetime. Like I said, some of you are very open to having connections with people. I feel like you really learn to communicate when you get around other people, within your friend group, within your community, within the people that you choose to make your found family, or even the people that you choose to have relationships with. You learn to better communicate with and through them. I'm not saying that you need them for this, but you learn, maybe for some of you, you really had to struggle with like multiple languages in this lifetime as well. Because I'm kind of seeing somebody who learns like a new language or a new way to speak with every partner that they have. And it's very interesting. I've kind of dealt with that a little bit myself, but not too much. So there's something here about communication being a big thing. But like I said, your spirit guides want you to communicate with them because they have nothing but beautiful, loving energy and messages to tell you every day. And for some of you, you could benefit from, again, using a crystal, maybe just holding it and feeling what you feel, feeling the messages that are coming through. I typically do it with tarot, and sometimes just channeling, sometimes just divine channeling. I'll record myself because when I'm channeling, I will forget half the things I say, because I'm literally a vessel for the spirit to come through to be able to express the things that I'm trying to say. So maybe some of you could benefit from recording yourself, just spirit talk, as I think some people call it, or channeling. It's all beautiful. It's all beautiful stuff. Just try it out, maybe once or twice. And if you like it, you can keep doing it. And if not, you could always consult other people as well. I know a lot of tarot readers are good at channeling spirit guides. Some energy healers are good at this as well. It all depends what you're into. But I definitely encourage you to try it yourself at least once or twice, even if it feels a little silly. For some of you, you could benefit from writing as well. I used to do channeled writing a lot, and I would get a lot of very interesting insights, because it's a lot like channeling. You blank out a little bit, but then you look back at it, it's like, wow, I can't believe I got all those messages. But yeah, your spirit guides would love you to communicate. And of course, some of you would benefit from meditation as well. I wasn't getting that as strongly in this pile. Maybe this is my pile of people who don't have the time or focus to meditate. But I feel like guided meditations, there's plenty of them online. I don't really have a specific one that I go to, because I don't really meditate like that anymore. But guided meditations to see who your spirit guides are. I like to do one where the one that I do for myself, I just go into a room, and this will be like my sanctuary, my little spiritual sanctuary. And I kind of show up and see who shows up there. And sometimes I'll have a spirit guide. I have like a very particular one that, she reminds me of Artemis from the Greek mythology. She's a very sister-like, but I also see her as like a version of me that I could be. But take that only if it resonates, if you feel like doing something similar to that. You know how I said nature speaks to me? Literally a bunch of leaves just fell on my window. So I guess take that as a message if you want to, pile 3. Let's go ahead and get your closing advice from your spirit guides. We're going to use the Audacity deck for my pile 3s. Anything else your spirit guides would like you to know? We have the 2 of D's. I like this card. It's funny. So you're very bold. I feel like the older you get, the bolder you will become. And there's something about your sense of humor too that people are really going to like. It might be a little bit unexpected, but you're going to become a lot more bolder the older you get, or the more experience you get in life. And people will find this very endearing. We also have the Lovers. Like I said, there's something about relationships here that is important, both the ones you make with people and the ones you will end up having. I previously mentioned some of you might be married more than once, and that's just very realistic. Part of the reason I don't really do like marriage or soulmate readings yet is because when I tap into that energy, Spirit literally tells me, it's like, some of your viewers are going to be married multiple times, and I don't think they want to hear that. But it's true. But in this lifetime, you're meant to have at least one partnership that is really impactful. And whether you stay together forever or not, I feel like you're going to be in each other's lives, and it's going to be something very profound, or at the very least, like a genuine friendship. For some of you, it might be the parent of your child. Let's go ahead and get your angel tarot cards. I'm using this as an oracle. I didn't really mention a lot of angels in this particular pile either, even though I did mean to channel angels. But like I said, a lot of you have like a very particular background with Christianity, so that might be why they don't come through. Let's go ahead and get your card. We have 20, renewal, Archangel Jeremiel. Review and evaluate, a favorable assessment of facts, time to move in a new direction. This is judgment again. So I do feel for a lot of you, what's coming up soon is going to be like a new way of seeing life, or a new adventure in life. It's going to change the way you move about in life. This could be something like creating a new business, a new line of work, meeting certain people, or even birthing something, though I'm not getting the birthing here very strongly. Ironically enough, I feel like this might be my pile of people who already have kids. Let's go ahead and get another card. The 10 of Fire, 10 of Wands. Too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance, stress-related health concerns. If you ever feel overwhelmed or overburdened, don't be afraid to ask people for help. I think a lot of people want to help you out more than you believe, and you just have a hard time asking. Do not be afraid to ask people for help. And if people offer help, by all means, take it. Don't be prideful. Take it. Because there's something here about your future where in people helping you out, you will learn more about them, and you will come across certain opportunities that are actually going to be very impactful. I don't know who needed to hear that, but that was very specific. Let's go ahead and get the Work Your Light Oracle cards. For my pile 3, we have Starseed. What lights you up? What lights you up? This is your spirit guides coming through again. They want you to speak with them more. Speak with them on a daily basis. Keep a journal, ask questions, then write down answers, channel. And I know it's harder for me to explain. I feel like that deserves its own video on how to do it. But I know there's plenty of videos on YouTube as well on how to do it. So I highly recommend you learn how to channel through your guides, with your guides, how to speak with them. Oh, that is very out of focus. Okay, yeah, I feel like that was just confirmation. Let's get another card. You're already doing it. Stop overthinking, keep facing your true north. For some of you, you're already in contact with your spirit guides and you're just not aware of it. It's kind of like if you ever, because this is what I do. Sometimes I'll be out and about, just, I don't know, shopping or driving or something. And then I'll just start getting messages, or I'll start hearing things. But it'll feel very soft and very lovely. Like it'll feel like I'm with a friend and they're trying to give me really nice advice. That's what I'm getting. And sometimes your spirit guides come in the form of people you weren't expecting. Like I'll just be somewhere minding my business, maybe having lunch, and somebody will sit next to me and they'll just start having a very interesting conversation. And I feel like whatever they're trying to tell me is something that my guides are trying to get through to me as well. Especially, for example, I've been having to talk a lot about relationships lately with certain people I wasn't expecting to talk about them with. And I'll be getting just some really great advice, and it just, I just take that to mean that my spirit guides are talking through other people to let me know that I need to that I'm getting the information that I need to hear, So that's going to be for some of you. Maybe you've already had an experience like this. If you want to share, you can, down in the comments below. Let's go ahead and get your forest friends. Or no, let's do the Pokemon cards first. For my pile 3, I'm really loving this energy. My previous 2 piles were very masculine, dominant energy, and this one is like the complete opposite. So I guess this is my girly pile. No, of course you don't have to be. We have perform an integrity appraisal. Ooh, okay, wow. Something about the promises you keep are going to be very important. Perform an integrity appraisal. There's something about your energy here where like you're going to become a lot more honest as life goes on, pile 3. You're going to become a lot more honest, or you're going to stay true to your word. I don't know if it's because somebody told you to do this or because you felt the need to, but there's going to be a feeling here that you're going to be a lot more full of integrity. We also have don't. I think that's the only word on here is don't. Matchup. Let's clarify that. Why do we have a don't? Oh, people are not meant to cross you. Like I said, you're going to intimidate a lot of people. Oh, this is beautiful. Protection against reputational risk. So there's going to be certain people that you may align with. This could be a group of friends. This could be maybe just one particular person. But I feel like you're going to end up with the wrong people at some point, but you will be very divinely protected because people are going to see you as like a separate entity from either this person or these people. It could be a group of friends. It could be a person. I think it all depends on who it is because I'm seeing 2 very different energies. For some of you, it could be like an ex, and for some of you, it could be a group of friends that just are up to no good. But I do see you. I see people believing you, and I see people seeing the good within you because they know that sometimes people just end up with the wrong person at the wrong time. That was very specific, so take it if it resonates. Let's go ahead and get your Forest Friends cards. For my pile 3 to finish off this reading. Oh, look at this sweet little dog. White dog, inner peace. Find your peace in chaos. Always remember that peace comes from within. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you are going to have this unshakable inner peace that people will not be able to get to. Like, you know how some people come into your life and they bring chaos and you kind of feel a little dizzy after a while? I'm getting that, but I'm getting it more like they will not be able to do that anymore. Like, you will have such a grounded energy that no one will be able to shake your inner core, your inner peace. We also have this one. Look at all these doggies or wolves. Questing wolves, leadership. If you know where you're going, don't be surprised if others follow. Yeah, a lot of you, like I said, you're stepping into this very strong leadership role, but it's very soft. Like, people will want to follow you. You're going to become a natural leader because people follow, not because you command people, but because they want to follow you. And one more. Wise old badger, purpose, be determined. As long as you stay true to your goals, you can overcome any obstacle. Like I said, a lot of your success will come a little bit later in life, but people will naturally want to follow you. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If any of this resonated, please let me know in the comments below. And if you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you in the next reading. Sending you so much love. Take care. Hello there, pile 4. If you chose the Modern Witch Tarot, then we have a reading here for you. Your mystery reading from your spirit guides. If you've never done a mystery reading with me, the way it works is we don't really have like a specific question or even a theme. We just tap into the cards, and in this case, your spirit guides, your spirit team, in order to see what messages are wanting to come through, just so we can have like a free form kind of reading to see like, you know, what they want to talk about, what they want to say. In this particular reading, we're tapping into your spirit guides and who they are. It's basically your spirit team that you kind of collaborated with in order to reincarnate into this world. They help you out in life. They sometimes help you out with your journey in life and maybe even abilities or anything else that comes through. So this is going to be a fun reading. If you've never dealt with your spirit guides before, this is also a great starting point for you to kind of see who they may be, what they may have to say, or anything that they really help you along with. Every pile has been very different, so it's going to be very interesting. We'll tap into the tarot after we do the oracles. The oracles are going to give us an indication of who your spirit guides are. I don't know why this song is stuck in my head because I haven't been channeling songs for this reading, but I'm getting Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso in this reading. So I don't know if the subject matter of that song pertains to you, pile 4, or if maybe you're just like a coffee person, or there's definitely something playful about your guides, though, because I think this is the first pile where I'm like really excited to tap in. I mean, I'm excited for all of them, but this one, there's like a childlike wonder to it. Something cheeky, something cute. But let's go ahead and start with your oracles. For my beautiful pile 4, what do your spirit guides have to tell you? What's coming through for you? We have Broken Arrow. Embrace the energy of peace. Embrace the energy of peace. We also have Guardian Angel, you are not alone. Oh, this is so sweet. This is going to be my pile that has Guardian Angels. Whether you're aware or not, pile 4, you do have guardian angels, especially if you have a background where you grew up believing in guardian angels. I know I did. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be like super Christian-y or Catholic or any of that kind of background. It just means that at some point in your life, you were taught that you have guardians around you, whether that's your ancestors or your angels. Sometimes I see them as the same thing. You could even have archangels, which are the more, these are the ones that have names like Michael, Gabriel, and all of them. But angels can also be your ancestors that protect and guide you. So you definitely have guardian angels, which would explain why I'm a little excited, because I love tapping into guardian angel energy. It's very sweet. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. Feathers could be an important symbol for you. My pile 4. We have Heart Guardian, love and let yourself be loved. Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. I feel like your guardian angels really make it a point to show you love every day. And I got a similar message in one of the previous piles. I don't remember which one. But if you ever, for example, if you were ever to speak with your guardian angels, with your ancestors, they would do nothing but send you so much love. Because when people pass on to the next life, they literally are embraced with light and love, and that's all they can do is exude it out to people around them in the form of guidance, in the form of words. And I feel like this is gonna be my pile who actually does communicate with their spirit guides, because I'm feeling such an embrace right now. It's like a homecoming, and I feel it in the heart. I feel it all around my like somebody's literally hugging me and embracing me. By the way, you don't have to have a Christian background either, because I am getting like a very strong ancestral realm as well here. Like I'm seeing a tribe of people just embracing you. So I guess it all depends on your background and what your situation is, but there is a beautiful homecoming in this particular pile, and I am loving it. Your people love you, pile 4. Let's get one more. We have Spring. See your seeds grow. So you're definitely growing something right now, and I feel like your ancestors, your spirit guides are helping you out with this. They love to see you blossom. They love to see your creative side, especially if it's something that is actually passed down from family to family. For example, if you come from a family of weavers and they see that you also like to work in the fiber arts, they're going to help you out with this, because it's something that is innately within your blood that is coming through to help you out. It could also be like artwork, for example. Maybe you come from a long line of people who are artists, and they help you out with this. This is very beautiful energy. This is very it's something sacred in the way you create the things you create. It doesn't matter if it looks anything like your ancestors did it. For example, maybe they did very traditional things, and the way you do it is a lot more modern, a lot more colorful, or just maybe it's more high tech. It doesn't matter. It's the essence of this particular ability that is here, and your ancestors love you for it. Like, they recognize it and they appreciate it, and they push you forward in a lot of success with it. I feel like they're with you every step of the way. Even if you feel like you don't have anybody who've ever believed in you, pile 4, I'm here to tell you they do. I'm here to tell you they do, and they wish you understood that. And it is such beautiful energy, such loving energy that I am feeling. I do see the wind being one of your guides as well. I was speaking about this in another pile. Sometimes the natural elements can be guides to us in the way that the earth will speak to us. For example, rain can be a guide in the way that, you know, it may rain sometimes when we feel we need a message, or the way the wind blows, or the way the sunlight will just shine. For me, it's sometimes sunlight, because especially if you're used to my channel, you will see I use natural lighting to allow earth and nature to speak through the video sometimes. I don't always point it out, but maybe some people do notice it. So for me, it's sometimes sunlight. But in your case, pile 4, I feel like it's going to be wind, because feathers make me think of wind. It could also just be feathers. If you ever just randomly find feathers, like you're walking around and maybe a bird drops a feather, that could be something important to you as well, especially if you go on nature walks, or even if I'm hearing some of you might get into collecting feathers, and you might make something with that, make something sacred, something spiritual. That's not going to be for everybody, of course, but I would take that here. With spring, I'm seeing creativity. Of course, the spring season could be important to you. Maybe you were born there, or maybe it's like a pivotal time of the year for you. But spring makes me think of creativity because of everything we create. It's fertility, of course, and that creates, human beings. But I'm also seeing the creativity within oneself to make something beautiful for the world, whether it's artwork, whether it's content that will inspire and improve people's lives, or even just a community. There's something here about you creating things that people are really, really loving. You put a lot of love into your creations, and your spirit guides are very proud of you for it, especially when it comes from the heart. I feel like a lot of you have had to learn how to put your heart and soul into the things you create to really how do I say this? To make it feel like it's worthwhile. This is going to be my group of very passionate people, passionate creative people. So maybe water energy is important here. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, or even or air as well, because I'm getting a lot of strong Gemini here, and Libra and Aquarius as well. Let's go ahead and get your gods and goddess cards. And these could be archetypes that your spirit guides take on sometimes. We have Ganesha, obstacles. Odin, guidance. Odin has been coming out in a lot of these piles, and I'm very, I feel like that might be a message for me because he's one of my guides. But there's something here about your wisdom. There's something here about you overcoming. There's a strategic side to you that I don't think a lot of people see, or even if they do, they kind of take it for granted, because your masculine side is actually very... I don't know, mathematical, strategic. Like there's an intelligence to you that you may get from maybe even your father's side of the family, your more masculine side of the family. I feel like this is when it comes through the most. And it's interesting because I did bring up I think I brought up weaving earlier. I'm thinking of a culture like Peru where the men knit as well. They knit their own garments. I've studied Peruvian I studied Peruvian weaving for a long time because I used to knit. I used to do all kinds of stuff. I don't anymore. But there's something here about like healing the masculine side of your family through your creativity, through expressing your art, expressing something physically. Like you will create something, and that is how you heal your masculine side, which is very interesting. It's a very grandfatherly or father-like energy that you have, and I feel like maybe one of your spirit guides may be a deceased grandfather or something along those lines. And he imparts a lot of wisdom onto you, a lot of love and a lot of wisdom, takes care of you, absolutely adores you. When it comes to obstacles or anything that is in your way, I feel like he comes through and just paves a way for you. And it's like, come through, come through. We're meant to move on together. It's very beautiful energy. It truly is. Another way to see this, of course, is maybe your own, like the masculine side of some part of your family were very creative, but they weren't able to express this growing up. Or maybe they lived in a society where like, maybe they worked with clothing and they loved clothing, but there was like a societal push for men to not be into fashion, of course, for very small-minded reasons. So take that if it resonates. Maybe you even had a closeted grandparent that couldn't express themselves or something along those lines. And I feel like that's not going to be for everybody, of course. I'm not here to air out any skeletons in anybody's family's closet, but I feel like you do something for the masculine side of your family in order to heal it, and they're very proud of you for it. Pile 4. This is very specific, so it may not resonate with everybody, but there's something about creative expression in the masculine side that you are healing, and they help you by removing obstacles to this particular creative endeavor and or imparting wisdom and guidance onto you when you least expect it. Let's go ahead and get your goddess cards. But also Ganesha and Odin are very strong figures within their own respective pantheons, so do understand that you are very divinely guided. We have Lakshmi, prosperity. Something about collaboration is going to be important for you in this lifetime. When I got this card in another reading, in another pile, I was going along the lines of you may have a partner that's going to help you out with your life path or your career. That's not for everybody, of course. That's only if you want a life partner and you know that's meant for you in this particular lifetime. For others of you, it might just be collaborating with the right people, finding the right people who are going to really push you forward in a team, in a collaboration, or even just being inspired by this. This could also be being part of a dynamic duo. I'm hearing maybe you find somebody who is going to help you out with your life path or your career, or just an inspiration. But I do feel people are going to help you out a lot in this lifetime because your spirit guides are going to bring you the right people. Let's get another card. Isis, protection. You are so divinely protected. So divinely protected. There have been times, and I get this a lot in readings, it's like if you've ever felt that you should have been like, you shouldn't have survived something, but you did, this is because your guides came through and made sure you survived. It's like, no, this is my person and they're going to do amazing things and they're going to get every chance at life that they can. So you may have had a near-death experience, pile 4. Take that only if it resonates, but regardless, you are very divinely protected. I'm going to get 2 more for the goddess cards. We have Pele, purpose. There's a lot of passion within you. And I don't know if you express it enough, pile 4. I feel like some of you may fear expressing passion because you have like a weird relationship with it. But the way I'm seeing passion within this pile, within this particular reading, is that it's what drives you to make something amazing. It's the inspiration behind something. Passion can be seen as anger sometimes, and maybe anger can make us do things that we know we need to do. But I'm also seeing the passion to want to create something amazing, the passion to see something into fruition, to see something evolve and turn into something bigger outside ourselves. And I feel like in this lifetime, actually pretty soon, I feel like for some of you this may be within the year, you're going to learn about your passion and what drives you, and it's going to be a very grounding energy. Maybe some of you are learning to tap into your root energy, to be brave, to be rooted, to understand what your purpose is, and to make this a more reality. When I think of the root chakra, when I think of grounding, I think of making something a reality within the earth, within our 3D self, within our earthly bodies. I'm going to get one more card. But I'm loving all your deities so far. We have Ixchel, release. I think I need to censor that. She's got major side boob there. But there is something here about learning how to release a certain energy. This could be my pile of people who like to bottle up their emotions or bottle up their tensions. And one way you do it, of course, like I said, is through creative expression. But I'm being told you need to learn how to release something in a much more spiritual way, like energetic release is what I'm seeing. Learning to release things energetically. And I'm not surprised that Pele came along with Ixchel. They're both very, I don't know why I've always associated Ixchel with volcanoes. She's from the area where that is now Mexico, and Mexico has a lot of volcanoes, and Pele herself is a goddess of volcanoes as well. There's something here about a deep-seated either anger, passion, something that's been bottled up within you for a long time, pile 4, that you're going to release this year, or you're going to learn how to better express that energy, express that particular emotion. And I feel like your guides are going to help you with this in the most guided way possible. I know that sounds weird. Your guides are going to help you in a guided way, obviously, but it's like they're going to help you understand why you feel the way you feel, because it's something that's been within you for a very long time. And I think it's time to let it go. And once you let it go, you're going to step into a very different energy. I'm seeing a much more free-flowing life. I'm seeing something a lot easier for you after you get this volcanic release, if you will. It might be something about your anger. It could be a mental breakdown that actually brings about something good. Take it how it resonates, take it how you will. But I feel like this is going to be, whatever time you're watching this right now, this is meant to be a timeless reading. You're about to embark on a year of growth, especially those of you who are about to get your solar return. If your birthday is close to the time you're watching this, I'm hearing that very strongly. I'm recording this right now during Cancer season, so my Cancerians out there, get ready for some explosive growth. You're about to go through something amazing because Jupiter right now is in your 12th house. This is an expansion within the subconscious. You are releasing emotions you didn't realize you had. You are experiencing emotions you didn't realize you had. There's going to be a lot of soul searching, and within the next year or so, you're going to embark on a lot. I've been reading a lot for Cancerian people. I know a lot of Cancers. You're also amazing. Take that only if it resonates. You don't have to be. You could also have a lot of strong Cancerian placements. But I love my Cancers. You guys are so beautiful. So shout out to all of you. But yeah, let's get the rest of your cards because I'm loving this energy. This is very beautiful energy, pile 4. We're going to use the Astro Star Codes. For my pile 4, we have Libra, balance. Yes, you're learning to balance certain things out here. Also, something about aesthetics. Like I said, if you're creative, there's a chance that you're dealing a lot with aesthetics. I feel like your guides bring a lot of really great ideas, visual ideas to you. And I like this because I've read this before for certain people. Their guides are actually like colors or waves of patterns or something visual. Sometimes guides can come to us in visual cues, like maybe a particular color or a particular color pattern, or even like a vision of something that is not tangible, but it's visual, you know, like maybe an aura or something. Yeah, and sometimes people even have signature colors. I've been dealing with people who have a very particular signature color. In fact, if you were drawn to this color from this particular tarot deck, this could be one of your colors. It's aqua blue or just blue, whatever color it seems like to you. To me, it looks aqua. But yeah, I'm loving this energy. And in fact, this card itself looks a little aquamarine, just a little bit. Okay, let's get the rest of your cards. Something about relationships is going to be important. Again, maybe some of you are actually dealing with a very particular relationship soon or right now. Take that only if it resonates. Like I said, it's not for everybody because we also have the Heart Guardian. We have Venus, beloved. Like I said, there is so much love here. There is so much Venusian energy. It wouldn't surprise me if you're a very beautiful, physically appealing person, pile 4. And I know looks and beauty aren't everything, but sometimes you just need to hear it, that you are just such a physically beautiful person. And I feel like your guides kind of bring that to you. Like, you might start seeing people compliment you more, or you might start like really embracing your physical beauty a little bit more. And sometimes it's just for our own physical human body. Like, we have a beautiful human body. We should embrace it and, you know, love it and adore it and enjoy it for what it is. But for some of you, it could also just be hearing the messages you need to hear. Like, maybe you feel really bad about your hair one day and somebody says, you have the most beautiful hair. You know, that sometimes your guides come through saying small messages like that. I know I went through that recently when I had a really bad haircut and I was just feeling so awful, and I just had strangers come up to me and tell me they loved my hair, and I was like, oh, thank you, I needed to hear that. You know, sometimes your guides will come through in the form of strangers to tell you things that you need to hear, even if it's very random. I feel like you should just accept it with grace and, you know, be open to that. Be open to strangers being able to appreciate your beauty, even if they don't know you. Even if, you know, I feel like a lot of you will learn how to accept a lot more compliments in the near future, because you definitely are a very physically appealing person. There's something about your aesthetic, your beauty, your physical appearance that people truly adore, and your guides make it a point to bring this to you. Maybe even sometimes in the form of like finding clothes that you really like for a good discount. I know that happens to me all the time. I will always find the exact things I need like a good price. That's one of my special gifts that I've always had. So maybe your guides do the same, or maybe you will, for example, somebody will gift you some beauty thing that you typically wouldn't get or buy or afford, and it's just like a gift from the universe to you. So take that only if it resonates. I feel like for a lot of you, your physical appearance is going to be part of how your guides are going to communicate with you, because this is a very visual pile. Very visual pile. Speaking of visuals, I'm actually getting this very randomly. Some of you have a woman with very long dark hair who is your spirit guide. She's very feisty and very self-assured and very protective, but she's a woman with she's a woman with long dark hair, and she protects you a lot. I'm not sure if this is like a great grandmother. I feel like she was related to you at some point. I mean, still is, of course. But she's very feisty. And maybe she's even reincarnated in some of the people you know, like maybe some cousins, a sibling, or maybe even your own mother, if that's what she looks like. But there's somebody here who is just not afraid to say anything, very strong, and she empowers you very strongly. because all of these women have like long brown hair and they're all so fierce and they're not afraid to be themselves. Like, I love the feminine energy that is coming through in this particular reading because she's not afraid. She is not afraid at all. So that's what one of your guides looks like. It's probably one of your ancestors. And you may know about this person, maybe, or maybe you don't. Maybe this is somebody who will come through in meditation. Because sometimes my own ancestors have come through in meditation, just to, you know, to pay their respects, which is very interesting. But let's go ahead and get your Sacred Feminine Oracle cards. We have Reasoned, 33. Reasoned. You know, it's funny. Anytime I get this card in this deck, I think of Black Panther, and I keep talking about ancestors. And I was actually trying to watch that movie this morning because I love it. How whenever they try to take the initiation to become the Black Panther, they have to take the flower. I forget what it's called, and they go into an out-of-body experience and meet all their ancestors. You might go through something similar, or you could be guided to do something similar to meet some of your ancestors, but regardless, they are there with you. Like I said, there's a homecoming here for you, pile 4. Also, 33 is a master number for healers. I know I have it, and you don't have to have this particularly, but it is giving me an indication that you are probably put on this earth to heal something. Even if it's just the ancestral line, it could also just be the people around you. We have 40, wild. So there is a wild side to you that not a lot of people see. And I feel like this is something that's going to come through, again, within the next year or so, or maybe you're going through it now. We have guide. Your guides are here with you. What can I tell you, pile 4? Your guides are very excited that you're here today to hear some of the things that you really needed to hear. Back of the deck, unrecognized. Some of you are going to go through such a transformation that you're going to be almost unrecognizable to some people around you. And I see this a lot. And the transformation could be at any time. You do have the number 26, 33, 40, and 18. So those ages could be of importance. But regardless, you're going to go through such a transformation. People are not going to recognize you anymore. They're going to know who you are because you look like you. But your energy, the way you carry yourself, the way you go about doing things, the way you speak, something about you is going to change. And they're going to know it's you. But it's like, I'm hearing, it's so good to finally see your true self. It's so good to finally see the real you. Your ancestors, your guides are going to help you with this. And I should point out, this is the pile of people who really, it's going to be your family, your deceased family members, your ancient family members that are going to help you out here. I'm getting that so strongly. Let's get, I want to say that's it. So if this sounds like something you want to continue, oh wait, no, we have the trash animals cards. I knew I was forgetting something because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. We are going to see some things that your guides want to point out to you. For my pile 4, we have animal control, restriction, and raw instincts. There's been like, I don't know if you were very overprotected when you were younger or if you just had like a very strict upbringing. We're letting go of that. We're letting go of that soon. And I feel like your guides are going to help you with this. They're going to help you embrace freedom. They're going to help you get out of a situation where you were feeling trapped or like I'm hearing you are not meant to be in the energy you are right now forever. Pile 4. They're going to help you break free somehow. We have crow, problem solver. Like I said, feathers are important. Maybe feathers are an important thing. But you're also very smart. There's like I said, the masculine side of you is very strategic. And I feel like you might be embracing your masculine side in this way. Maybe by doing more puzzles or by doing something very intellectual. Maybe doing some kind of math kind of things or science kind of things. I don't know. It's very interesting. But take that only if it resonates. Maybe some of you are already here and you're just realizing that that's your masculine side and that's how you embrace that. And then the empty nest, inner calling and rebirth. I like the empty nest. If you haven't left your parents' home yet, I feel like you will. I feel like you will, or you will embrace something more independent about yourself to the point where you no longer are relying on the people around you. Because even though, yes, we're talking about ancestors here, I think your actual family, your 3D family that you're living with right now, are doing you a disservice. So your ancestors are coming in saying, hey, it's time to let this one go. It's time to do something for this one so they can branch out and break free. Again, feathers are important. That's going to be an important symbol for you, pile 4. So now that we've got all that out of the way, let's move on to the tarot portion. I want to thank you so much for letting me read for you today, Pile 4. I'm so glad you stumbled upon my little channel. I have been doing this for a little bit less than a year. I've been reading tarot forever though, decades at this point. But I truly love being able to impart my wisdom onto you, to be able to share my messages with you, and that you find this entertaining or at least a little bit useful. There's something here about being able to collaborate with your soul and your spirits and your own spirit guides, of course, right now. That is very, I love this privilege. I love being able to tap into your energy to help you out with whatever it is that you need. And if you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. After all, I love hearing your feedback. I love hearing some of the stories you guys tell me about certain things. And because this particular pile, I'm just so strong in this beautiful ancestral energy, I'm very privileged. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, pile 4. But let's move on to the tarot portion. And I'm going to do this very straightforward. 5 cards across, 4 messages from your guides. And then we're going to clarify these. So my beautiful, lovely pile 4. What messages do your guides have for you right now? We have the Page of Swords, the Ten of Wands, we have Judgment, and I need to censor the booties here. We have the World. Lots of censorship. I feel like a lot of you have been hidden away for a long time. Or, well, maybe not hidden away, but maybe you have a fear of being seen, is what I'm getting. Which is fair. I mean, I had a fear of being seen, and here I am at 34, making a YouTube channel. And the Hermit. Yeah, there's that fear of being seen. I feel like your guides made it a point to let you wait until you're ready to come through. It's kind of like they understood that you needed all the time in the world to really develop your skill or to develop your confidence, to do something here, to work on yourself. And when the time was right, they were like, we'll help you out and we'll bring you out into the spotlight, essentially. But this is a decision that you had to take on your own, pile 4. They were not going to shove you into it. They were not going to push you into it. They were like, when you're ready, we are here and we will help you. And because we have fixed energy with the World, every time I see the World, I think of stubbornness. So maybe you have fixed signs like Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, or Aquarius. But there's something here about you having to take the next step forward, and they're going to help you out. Because they understood and knew that you had to do a lot of things on your own. Let's go ahead and clarify these. Also, your guides speak to you in a very steady and stable manner, because I typically speak a little bit faster than this, but tapping into their energy, they're like, no, make sure you speak with a steady pace, because we want our pile 4 to hear this. Maybe some of your guides or ancestors were also like orators, like maybe they spoke a lot. Maybe they were very vocal figureheads in their, I'm hearing tribes or in their communities. For some of you, it's going to be tribes. And I think you will know. So to clarify the Page of Swords, we have the Star. It's kind of like they knew you were something good, so they really wanted you to be ready for the next step. They wanted you to be able to express yourself how you needed. Also, the fact that I'm having to censor so much of this, it's quite literally like exposure that you were afraid of being exposed, not literally your body, but like afraid of being seen. It's like a shy baby. Maybe some of you were very shy growing up or when you were younger. To clarify the Ten of Wands, the Lovers. I'm not gonna lie, pile 4, for some of you, you might have somebody that is important in your life romantically. They may not come till later in life, or you may have to make peace with your idea of relationships. If not a romantic partner, like I said, it could be like a business partner, somebody who's meant to help you out here, somebody who is meant to help you carry the weight of the world. Because for a lot of you, you feel like you've been doing this alone forever, and you feel like it's always going to be a burden. And I apologize if you hear that very loud noise in the background. Maybe that's just confirmation pile 4. But a lot of you actually have like at the very least one soulmate who's going to help you out with certain things in life. I feel like they're really going to help you like catapult your life forward. That's not going to be everybody, of course, but some of you might have to come to terms with like the way you view romance or the way you view relationships. Maybe some of you already have this partner and you know who it is, and it's just confirmation of that, of course. But for some of you, I'm feeling, especially for those of you who have been single your whole life, single AF, single, like there is somebody here who's going to help you out. It's part of your life purpose. I do read this a lot. I've been reading it a lot lately, where some people, they're going to have abundance and riches in this life, but they're not going to have it until they get a family because they want to share it with somebody. That might resonate with you, pile 4. It's not going to be for everybody, though. I think that was in a different pile as well. Let's clarify judgment. We have the Chariot. Yeah. Once you make the decision that you want to move forward, you are going to be catapulted forward. I mean, like, your life could change in a year. You could get married, have kids, have a house, a full-fledged business within a year. I see just dramatic growth and expansion. I'm literally seeing a rocket being like projected forward. To clarify the world, the 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is kind of the way you wanted to interact with the world. It's like, okay, give me everything all at once and I'll do my part. Some of you really wanted this. I don't know if some of you are resonating with this or not. Maybe you will in the future, or maybe it's something you're coming to terms with right now. And then the next card to clarify, the Hermit. Because I feel like this Hermit energy is actually past energy, or it could be like future energy. Like you may end up going back to your Hermit phase much later in life. The 8 of Wands, yeah. Back of the deck, Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like for some of you this is kind of new, because I wasn't picking up too much on this particular step forward, but a lot of you, your life is going to turn around so quickly. And I've literally seen this. I've seen my friends do this. They will get married and have children, have a house, have a whole new career within the span of like a year and a half. So don't be surprised if this happens to you. I'd say be open to it. I'd say if this is something you'd never really thought about, maybe just leave that particular door open in case it should happen to you. Because I'm seeing somebody who had to struggle a lot in childhood, somebody who was kept away, somebody who felt that they couldn't really grow because you've probably felt it was your own burden to heal everybody around you, or to be like a voice of reason. Like there was some burden that you were given at a very young age that just didn't seem fair, and it probably wasn't. Pile 4, it probably wasn't. It could have been your own family's baggage. It could have been other difficult things. But you were meant to grow through this. And I feel like some of you wanted to do this in childhood, so when you finally hit adulthood, it wouldn't hinder you. It's like you may have been given a rough childhood so that when you went into adulthood, it would be so much easier and things would come at a much more natural pace. With judgment, like I said, this has to be your decision though. You have to be able to accept this. It's like, for example, let's say there is like behind door 1, there's like a partner, a family, a home, some kind of life that you thought wasn't available to you. It's still an option. You have to choose that. You have to be okay with that. You have to tell your guides, the universe, everything, okay, I want this. Let it come to me and I'll embrace it and I'll do as good as I can by it. It'll come through. It's a very straightforward message. And of course, it's not going to be for everybody, but for a lot of you, you just have to say it out loud to the universe, what it is that you want, even if it's something you didn't think you wanted in the past. Again, I keep hearing very loud cars in the background. I feel like that just might be the confirmation. After all, we do have a motorcycle here. But I feel like a lot of you just have to accept it first, and then things will come through. With the world, I do feel a lot of you want your happily ever after, but you might be starting to reconsider what exactly that looks like. Because for some people, their happily ever after is living forever with their dogs and, just having a beautiful, wonderful, creative life. And that's a beautiful life to have. But for some of you, I feel like you've only closed it off to one particular type of happily ever after, that you're not opening the doors to all other kinds of them. Because the Hermit energy, even though it feels more like past energy, I'm being told to look at her the little laptop or book, whatever this is here, where she's shutting it down. So I'm being told not to shut yourself off from the possibilities that you are being given in this lifetime, pile 4. A lot of you are shutting down some doors, some windows that you're not meant to. I'm being told leave the possibilities open. Leave room for things to come through for you. Don't think that you're ever being denied anything. Don't think that there are things in this world that are not meant for you, because honestly, you are capable of having and being given everything. Your spirit guides are telling you that you would actually have a much more different life, and one that could be just as fulfilling as the one that you currently have, because there's no judgment here. Your spirit guides do not judge you if you decide to change your mind. They don't judge you if you want things that you thought you didn't want before. They don't judge you for wanting the same things that everybody else has either. I don't know at one point you thought that wanting something different was going to be safer, but I'm being told everybody does the same thing very differently. So even if you had the same thing as somebody else, you're going to do it differently because you're yourself. You're going to do it differently because you're a whole different breed. The way you were created, the way you are wired is so different from everybody around you. For example, I see a lot of people who don't want to get married because they see how marriages end up. They see how their friends, their family, their parents ended up in marriages, and they're like, I never want that. I never want to deal with that. But here's the thing. Everybody does relationships and marriages differently. Everybody does them differently. So what makes you think you're going to end up in that same pattern? If you project that onto yourself, that you're just going to follow that same pattern, it's going to happen. But for a lot of you, you have to break out of that mold. You have to break out of your own molds that you created for yourself, because that's not fair to you. You have so many possibilities and opportunities out there. All you have to do is ask the universe to bring them to you, and maybe at least give it a try. Is it going to be easy? Of course not. Nothing in life is easy. We're meant to go through love, heartbreak, and growth, and any mixture of that, because that's just the human experience. But your guides really want you to take that step forward. This is all up to you. This is your decision. This is your freedom of will here. And a lot of it does have to do with love and relationships and marriage and all of that. And for some of you, it may even have to do with children, because I did bring up fertility in the oracles. But even though I was talking about creative endeavors, for some of you, it could even be children. But you have to take the step forward. It's all up to you. You are in control. Your guides gave you this control because they knew you would want it. But you also have to maybe give yourself give your own self a second chance with the certain things that you may or may not want in life, if that makes any sense. That was a very specific message, and a lot of you had to hear it. And I say this with a lot of love, because your spirit guides really want you to have the happiest and most fulfilling life ever, however it may look like to you. With the Six of Pentacles, you do have a lot to offer the world. You have a lot to offer, and I feel like the world will offer that back to you, pile 4. And Eight of Wands, like I said, be prepared for fast growth. You are going to be catapulted. Like I keep hearing that word, like you're going to be launched into a whole different life, a whole different way of living, of being. There's something here for you. Maybe some of you have already gotten a taste of this freedom, but it was just a taste, and now you're like hungering for it again. It's like, I need to get back to that particular space. Whether it was a literal space, maybe you were in a different area, or maybe you were with different people. There's something about a past experience that keeps almost haunting you in a good way. It's like, hey, remember how good all that freedom felt? What if we just went full tilt, fully embraced it, and told the universe, okay, give me that, and I will do great things with it. That's what the Ace of Pentacles is here. Some of you were meant to create something a lot more long-lasting than it was. Because underneath that, what do we have? Yeah, Nine of Swords. You kind of freaked out. There was a bit of anxiety there. It's like, you know when you get something that's too good to be true and you lose it because you felt you didn't deserve it? That's what I'm getting. What's underneath that? Four of Cups. But you keep lingering on it. And the reason is, it's because it was meant for you. And just because you lost it doesn't mean you can't get it back again. This is meant for you, pile 4. I feel this message so strongly. So strongly. I mean, look at all the major arcana cards here. We have 6 out of 10. You are meant for great things this year. I promise you, this year is going to catapult you, but you have to accept this challenge. You have to accept this journey. The hero's journey is not always one that we choose, but one that calls to us because we know it's meant for us. And I'm getting a little bit more philosophical there because I'm bringing up the hero's journey. But if you see your life as like as a fairy tale or as a story that needs to be told, I think it'll be a lot easier to digest. Beautiful energy, pile 4. Your spirit guides are so amazing. I feel so much love from this. So much love. But just make sure you say it out to the world, or manifest it, or write it down. If you feel weird saying it, maybe just write it down somewhere. It's like, if this is meant for me, please bring it to me. Or bring it to me and I will do the best by it. But yeah, let's move on to your closing advice. But it is funny that I have to censor all of these cards. I mean, this is a very this particular deck is very true to the Rider-Waite, which I like because I don't like the Rider-Waite, but I do like the imagery of it. But something about having to censor yourself. A lot of you are going to come into a space where you are no longer silencing or censoring any aspect of yourself. You're going to be very honest with how you feel, with what you say, and with the things that you do. And I feel like people are really going to embrace this. They're going to love this about you. So for our guidance cards, we're using the Angel Tarot. I like to use this tarot deck as a oracle because it is, one, it is so huge, and two, it's a lot more positive than regular tarot cards. And like I said earlier, you do have guardian angels, so I feel like these might be very impactful for you, pile 4. We have the Chariot again. Archangel Metatron. Metatron is one of my favorite angels. He's one of the strongest. He's one of the I want to say he's like a gatekeeper. I forget, but I used to keep the symbol of Metatron in my bedroom just as protection. So you have a very strong angelic presence around you, pile 4. Also, the number 7 could be important. And again, if you do have Cancerian energy, maybe you were born in July, and July could be an important month for you. We have an important achievement, self-discipline, and willpower, public recognition. You are just going to move forward. You're going to move forward so strongly, so fast. You're not going to recognize who you were before. You will see remnants of that person, and of course that person will be amazing, and you will still keep parts of that. But you're going to let go of certain habits or certain ideologies that you used to have, and you're going to embrace something new. We can't help but create new things within ourselves every day. We're always expanding. We're always learning. Let's get another card for you. We also have the Wheel, 10, Archangel Michael, a time of positive change. A situation suddenly moves forward. Fortune is on your side. I think it's going to be inevitable, all the good things that are going to happen for you, pile 4. Your guides are here to remind you that it is inevitable how amazing your life is going to get, because you were not meant to stay in this energy of playing small, of being unseen, of being unheard. That was not meant for you. Once you embrace the fact that you know you are meant for something better, it will come to you, and they will conspire with you to bring something so much more amazing, so much more full of love and full of life. I'm going to get some cards from the Forest Friends Oracle. Some of you have animal guides. Very small, cute creatures. I'm not getting names, and I'm not getting exactly what they do. It's more like, there's a movie, I think it's Princess Mononoke with the little woodland things. It's like that, like they're always surrounding you. Cute little bunnies or cute little, small white creatures. So I'm seeing bunnies, I'm seeing maybe kittens or dogs, like small ones. They look like snowballs. Okay, oh my goodness, this is so cute. We have, I think this is a kitten and some butterflies. Butterfly, growth. You are emerging from your shell. Your spirit is always evolving and becoming more beautiful. Again, if you're Cancerian, you're evolving from your shell. But yeah, I think you're not going to be able to avoid the growth that is meant for you, pile 4. We also have this one. Like, again, if some of you are wondering about having kids, you might have kids. Watching the ducks, nurturing. Helping things grow is so rewarding. Whether it's a garden, an idea, or a tiny child, what can you nurture? You have a very nurturing energy, and your guides definitely nurture you as well. Oh, that's a lot. Let's get just one. Oh, okay. We have, this is Santa Claus. Reindeer and Santa, inner child. Remember when you believed? Channel your inner child and be open to the magic that surrounds you. I think there was some, You probably had some either like fantasies or dreams from childhood that you let go of, because as we get older, we're told, oh, those are just childhood dreams, those are childish dreams. I'm being told to go back to them because there's something about your childhood that is coming through again. And I feel like you need to embrace it because it was meant for you this whole time. And somebody led you to believe that it wasn't meant for you. Next is the Audacity deck. I almost forgot. For my pile 4. I'm hearing Billie Eilish's Chihiro, and I know that song is based off of Spirited Away. So again, there's something about childhood. It's like remembering your childhood, remembering your name even. For those of you who have seen the movie, it's about a girl having to grow up because she loses her parents. But yeah, something about, oh, okay, that movie is coming through. Maybe some of you grew up with Miyazaki films, and maybe those are important to you. We have the chicken nuggets and the dead-end job. What I'm being told is that you're going to get rewarded after many years of having dealt with a lot of dead-end, either dead-end jobs or dead-end ideas, or like having tried so hard, something is going to come through. The numbers here are 31 and 24. So maybe it's going to happen within the span of 5 years, or maybe those ages are important, 24 and 31. So take that only if it resonates. Maybe some of you are turning those ages this year, but there's something good coming out of all the time that you wasted. And then some Pokemon cards for my pile 4. We have, don't compare yourself to others and don't judge them. You have no idea what their journey is all about. Yeah, I feel like I said that earlier. Don't compare yourself to others. Your journey is meant to be so much more different than everybody else's. Even if you do the same things, it's not going to be the same. You are not a cookie cutter. No one really is. We like to pretend we are. I think even people who try to like copy themselves don't ever really look like them, like the people they're trying to copy, because we're all so different. And then we have this one. Jolteon. Burn. Feeble foundation. Unavoidable crisis. I'm being told to take this as a Tower card because something here is going to be unavoidable in that you're not going to be able to escape a change that is coming for you. And it's not to be an alerting thing. Change can be good. Change can be very sudden, but it can also be very peaceful. I'm saying this because I've been in a moment where I had to take a break from my regular job, and it was very sudden. Like literally within the week, I was transported somewhere very different. And then I had to experience a new way of working with people. I've met a lot of people, and I saw a different side of myself. It was very sudden and unexpected, and it was chaotic a little bit because I didn't like having to lose control, of course, but it was something I needed to show a side of myself that I didn't recognize was there. And that person that I saw was very different. If you've noticed my voice changing, I think that's part of the reason why that's happened. I'm in an energy now where I am a lot more peaceful and calm in my regular life. So even though it was very unexpected that I had to stop doing what I had to do, it was very wonderful. So don't think that a Tower moment or that like an unexpected moment has to be bad. It can be good sometimes. It can catapult you to something much more peaceful, loving, and beautiful. But this is where I leave you my beautiful pile 4. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I would claim this in the comments. I would tell the universe, yes, I love this. Bring all the good for me. I like to thank your spirit guides that are also full of love and nurturing and care for you. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 5. If you chose the Mythos Tarot, then we have a reading here for you about messages from your spirit guides. This is a mystery reading. If you've never done a mystery reading with me before, the way it works is we don't really have a theme. We don't really have a question. We just leave it open to whatever we are channeling through the cards. And in this case, your spirit guides and your spirit team. If you don't know who they are, we might get a glimpse into who they are within this reading. But basically, they are the spirit guides and team that you came into collaboration with before you reincarnated into this world to help you along your journey, to help you along with your life decisions, or maybe even to be guides throughout your lifetime, through your decisions, through anything that you may need them for. This is going to be a pile of people with a lot of spirit guides. Not going to lie. Like I'm not sure if you're a very social person in general as well, but you know a lot of people. And sometimes your spirit guides actually come in the form of 3D people that come in and out of your life. if that makes any sense. Your spirit guides really do bring people to you that you need to know, which is very interesting. But let's go ahead and look at the oracles to get a glimpse of who your guides may be, what particular journeys or goals in this lifetime you have kind of conspired to do so with them. Very interesting. I'm not sure if this is my pile of people who aren't typically very spiritual, but like, this is a very interesting energy. Let's go ahead and get your cards. We have the High Priestess, harness mystic power. So a lot of you are very intuitive. I don't think you actually communicate with your guides this much, but you know for a fact that you're intuitive, or that you work with, I'm being shown the Magician. Maybe you work with manifestation to some extent. For some of you, you have a cat, either a real cat or a like a spirit guide cat, or cats could just be important to you. I also see Egyptian guides or ancestry, which is very interesting. I don't see this in everybody, but there's something very ancient about the magic that is around you, and your guides come through in this way. We also have Druid, hold the space. Some of you may become a lot more spiritual later in life, like once you get to a certain age, you'll embrace it a lot more. We have Shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts. Again, there's something about you being able to manifest whatever it is that you want, because you know how to play a certain role whenever you need to fill that role, and or certain people will come into your life to play certain roles with you and for you as well. There's a lot about collaboration of the souls here for you, pile 5. Let's get one more. Guardian Angel, you are not alone. This came out in another previous pile, but I do feel you have guardian angels regardless of whether you are religious or not. I feel like you have ancestors that look out after you. In particular, somebody here has a grandmother that is very protective, very protective. Like she looks out for your, I'm hearing she looks out for your finances, believe it or not. She looks out for the material things that you create in this lifetime. So maybe a lot of you will actually create quite a considerable amount of material wealth, or you will come into possession of certain things, because I'm being shown a grandmother who makes sure that their grandchild inherits the property or the things that they need to inherit. It's almost like destiny that you own something that has been passed down from your family. It's almost like this grandmother or great-grandmother, it's a feminine figure. She's making sure that everything is being kept just for you. Even if you have like a lot of either siblings or cousins or something, there's something here that is meant for you, and I'm not sure why. But yeah, that's not going to resonate for everybody, of course, but take that if it resonates. I know that happens sometimes when it comes to like land that is being passed down to people. I see that a lot in my culture sometimes. Let's go ahead and get your gods and goddess cards. We have Lilith, equality. So there is something here about sacred feminine energy that is very important, especially if you're a man that identifies as straight. There is something here about divine feminine energy that is going to be an important part of your life. I feel like you have very strong feminine guides, believe it or not. But they're very rebellious. They're very different. And maybe, especially if you are into women, you are drawn to these kinds of women as well, that are very independent, that are very different, that make it a point to be something like just out of the norm. There's something about a very unique, independent, feminine streak that it just calls to you. Like either you're attracted to these kind of women, or you really maybe identify with them. Of course, you could identify with this as well, but there's something about a rebellious feminine streak that is just, it's part of, one of your guides is this way, or you could be drawn to people like this. And I feel like your guides may even bring women like this into your life. We have Hecate, illumination. Yeah. More of that independent streak. Hecate is the goddess of, she's the light bearer of the underworld. So it's bringing light to the darkness. Very interesting guides that you have, pile 5. We have Sheila Nagig, Gateways, and she's a very cheeky character. I was just doing a reading about her not too long ago, And there's something very sensual about her. There's definitely a very strong, sacred, feminine sensuality within this pile. So either you're attracted to this or you yourself embody this pile 5, depending on where you are. Maybe both, of course. You could also do both. But something about feminine energy being very strong with you. It's very interesting. And it's very unabashedly in your face as well. Like, I feel like, again, if you're into women, you're probably drawn to very, very strong, feisty women who are not afraid to be themselves. And if you yourself identify as a woman, you probably are being called to embrace this part of yourself. And Gaia, creation. Very interesting. Like, and also the color scheme in this, it's very, very autumnal. Very golden. There, you have a golden aura. In fact, even the card you chose, the deck you chose, there's something golden about it. So something about this color might be important to you. But I'm also being shown like a bare body. Like they're all kind of nude colors, like this golden brown kind of human skin tone in all its variations, of course. Maybe a little darker, maybe a little lighter. There's something about this lifetime that you really wanted to experience the human experience with all its material, with all its this is somebody who very much loves to live in their body. You're somebody who really enjoys living in your body, using your body. Maybe you're very athletic, or you're very active, or maybe you just really love nature. I'm seeing that as well. I do feel like you enjoy the sensual pleasures as well. I feel like that's something that you understand was meant to be enjoyed in this lifetime. You fully embrace the human experience here. And I feel like your guides really allow you to do this. Some of your guides actually come in the form of like nature spirits or nature beings as well, especially with shapeshifter Gaia and Sheila Nagig. There's something very earthy about your energy. It wouldn't surprise me if you're an earth sign as well, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Heavy emphasis on the Capricorn for some reason for some of you. Let's go ahead and get your God cards. But yeah, something about liberated women is something that you're just very much into, or that you are meant to be, pile. Pile 5. And then we have Dionysus. Yeah, like I said, there's something here about the human experience, the more sensual side of the human experience that you are meant for. I'm not exactly sure what I'm trying to censor. I guess this girl in the back. You're not afraid of it. Also seeing that you're not afraid of having a good time in general. If the whole sensuality thing isn't speaking to you, it could just be you embracing having a good time. This is definitely my pile of people who love to party, of people who love to enjoy experiences. Let's get more cards. We also have Odin guidance. He's been coming through in a lot of these readings. So I guess I need to thank Odin here. But there's something about your wisdom. You're actually a lot smarter than people perceive you to be. Even though you do have this devil-may-care party attitude or a rebellious streak to you, there's something about you where people don't really understand how calculating you can be or how strategic you can be sometimes. You may throw them off by some of your carefree attitude as well. We have Shiva, Destroyer. There is definitely something very transformational about your energy, and I feel like this is something you're not really going to embrace until either you get a little bit older or maybe somewhere later in life. I'm seeing like late 20s, early 30s. When you hit your first Saturn return, for sure, that's around your late 20s, you're going to see exactly the gravity of your power, of what you can build, of what you can destroy, of what you are meant to create in this lifetime. I don't know what you're doing, Pile 5, but this is such strong energy. Like, you have such a go-getter energy. Like, your spirit guides are with you, but they're not really talking to me. They're just telling me everything that you're meant to do, because you have a lot of life goals in this lifetime. It's part of the reason you chose the human experience, because you wanted to live it to its fullest. And then we have Mythos, sacrifice. There's something of a warrior spirit within you. It's interesting because it's kind of a combination of doing whatever you want, but at the same time knowing you have goals. It's within your own rebelliousness. It's within your own freedom that you find a lot more of the control that you want in life, if that makes sense. It wouldn't surprise me if you ended up being your own like an entrepreneur, or if you started your own business. There's something about wanting to live life on your own terms that you are meant to do, and that you are meant to you're actually meant to empower a lot of people that typically wouldn't do this. I feel like you're meant to be a mentor of some sort, or you combine there's a combination here of like your earthly body, of your spirituality, and of that materialistic attitude that I think a lot of people tend to shy away from, especially when it comes to spirituality. You don't shy away from material wealth. I'm seeing somebody who understands the power and the gravity of material things. For example, crystals are very spiritual, they're very high vibrational, they have a lot of energy, but they are also material things. I feel like this is something you understand. Same thing when it comes to, I was speaking about inheritance, maybe land as well. I feel like this is going to be somebody who understands that even the environment around them has an energy and that they can create things with that, both for good and for bad. I'm seeing somebody who has your morals are interesting. It's kind of like you don't see a good or bad. You just see energy. You just see things being created. And whatever people want to project onto that, that's on them, which is very interesting. This is an energy I'm not used to, that's for sure, but it's very interesting to see. But regardless, you're actually very spiritual, even though people may not think you are. Again, you have a very carefree attitude, or you may even be considered materialistic to some people, but you're actually not. Well, maybe you are, but like, it's not the only part of you that there is. I feel like the spiritual side you may only show to very close friends or to people who have the privilege of getting to know you on a personal basis. Probably more women in your life, maybe especially if you have like sisters or female friends. I feel like they get to see this side of you because you're able to be more honest with them than you are with, for example, the men in your life or even like anybody else in your life. Pile 5. Let's go ahead and get your astro cards. I am being told that you are meant to procreate with certain women in this life. For those of you who are into women and want to have children, it's interesting. I'm seeing two different things. Either you're meant to have like several several people that you have children with for very specific reasons, and or you may have one person, but every child you have is going to have like a very specific skill set or a very specific goal that they in this lifetime will accomplish. And I feel like you're going to cater to that. There's something about you wanting to be a parent that is very strong here. So either you're doing it the Nick Cannon way where you're just having babies with everybody, or you're doing it in a much more calm way, in a much more organized way, where you're going to have a very outspoken kind of either baby mama, baby daddy, and they're going to raise some rather immaculate children is what I'm hearing. That's not going to be for everybody. Of course, not everybody here is here to procreate, but I feel like this pile, like I said, you're here for the human experience, and for you, the human experience involves having children. Again, only take that if it resonates. But let's go ahead and get your astro cards. This is very different from the last pile I did, that's for sure. We have the Imam Kolai root. There is something about your home that is going to be important. I think you may come from a very important family. There's something about your family that's very important, or you may set roots that will create an important family. Family is important to this pile because it's part of the human experience, and because for you specifically, there was a calling to have children and to create things within this family of yours. We also have Aquarius, collaborate. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I was getting very strong Aquarius energy, especially with Lilith and Sheila Nagig here. I was getting very strong Aquarius where you kind of don't really go by the laws that everybody, well, not saying that you break laws, but you don't go by the societal constraints that everybody has about you. You might have a very unique kind of life. You might do certain things that, I don't want to say they're taboo, but it's not like you don't do things that everybody else does and you don't really care. For example, this could be somebody who ends up with somebody with a very large age gap. Like maybe your partner is considerably older or younger than you, or maybe, like I said, you might have children with several people, but that's like okay to you. Like you agree to that, and that's not, to you, it's not seen as, anything weird. That's just you having children. It could also be, again, your career. You might just have a very unconventional kind of way of living or making a living. It could be your entrepreneurial skills as well. And the moon, perception. There's definitely a very empathic nature to you. Again, a lot of people do not see this. I feel like you hide this away because you understand that it's not meant for everybody. The more personal side of you, the truer side of you, you do not share with just anybody. You share with those that you deem worthy or that you really, really trust, because your emotions are not for everybody. It's probably just, I'm seeing somebody who only trusts their mom and like 2 other people in their life, and that's it. Very interestingly enough. I do feel this is part of the reason you want to have children, because once you create your family, I feel like they're going to be part of that group of circle, or sorry, that circle that really gets to see a very genuine side to you. Not saying that you're not genuine, but it's like you don't show your true self to everybody. This is very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if this is my pile of people who are influencers or are in the public eye a lot, because I'm seeing not a double life, but like the persona you present to everybody else is not the same person that people get to know personally. That's coming through very strongly. Again, there's a sense of rebelliousness here. There's a sense of needing to show face to a certain type of group. Maybe your career is more party focused, but you're on a personal basis, you're actually not much of a party person. That's an example. That's not going to be for everybody. But there is a sense of duty here where you know you have certain goals that you want to meet, certain specific things you want to do that don't necessarily have anything to do with how you feel about it. It's more like, this is just something I want to do. It's very career focused, career centric. Let's get your trash animals cards. Your trash animal cards. We have possum, conflict avoidance. And I'm not surprised. I feel like you yourself actually don't do conflict that well. I feel like you know people who do conflict well for you. So you know how to find the right people to do the things that you need for you. This is that entrepreneurial spirit. Again, you are very well connected. You probably know somebody for everything, but not everybody will know you on a personal basis. We also have fox, resilience. Yeah, you don't give up. Whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, you will get it because there is a resilient nature within you. You feel that you are born a winner, and if you're not, you're going to make yourself a winner. Not at all cost. I do feel like there are morals here for most of you, but it's like you're very resilient. You're also very clever. After all, we have the fox here and we have Odin. There's something about your wisdom, your mind, that people just, they misunderestimate how smart you can be or how clever and strategic you can be. We also have the floating marshmallow, resourcefulness and inspired action. There is something very endearing about you. I feel like when people get to know you, they see a true side to you that, again, not a lot of people see. And you take care of your people. You have a small group of people you consider yours, and you take care of them at all costs. Like I said, for some of you, it'll be your family. For some of you, it might just be close friends. It could be, I don't know, it's a small group of people that you will probably do anything for and anything with. It could even be like that, like a parent of a child that you have here in common. Even if it's just the one parent, like they might just end up being like a lifelong friend that you raise a child with. It all depends. But you have a very unique outlook on life, pile 5. And I feel like your spirit guides are just here to either to remind you of this or to let you know that this is okay. Don't feel that you have to conform to societal norms or to conform to what everybody else is doing. You're meant to live a very different life for a reason. You're meant for great things, and your guides are very proud of you. And like I said, you have like that one ancestor who is looking out for you, making sure you get everything that you deserve and everything you need. I feel like this person either saw you as like the runt of the litter or somebody that people just kept misunderestimating. They had a very soft spot for you. So they're going to make sure you get exactly what you need in this lifetime. I feel like they help you with your success a lot as well. But if this sounds like you, and if you want to continue with some spirit guide advice, let's go ahead and move on to the tarot portion. And I would like to thank you again for letting me read for you. I'm loving all the viewership here. I love imparting my wisdom and advice on everybody. Thank you so much again for letting me read for you. I cannot express my gratitude enough. My channel is still very new, and even though I've been doing this for a while, I've been doing tarot and astrology for decades at this point. It feels so satisfying to be able to impart my wisdom onto you. And if you feel like doing so, like, comment, subscribe, let me know if any of this is resonating. But let's move on to the tarot portion. So the way we're going to do the tarot portion, I'm just going to lay out 5 cards, and these are going to be messages from your spirit guides if they want to have anything to say, and then we're going to clarify them. So for my beautiful pile 5, such interesting energy. Like, it's very different from the rest of them, for sure. Let's get your cards. We have the 4 of Cups, Styx, the River Styx. We have the Page of Wands, Hemera. We have the Eight of Wands, Atalanta. We have Temperance, Artemis. And the Three of Cups, the Graces. Like I said before, you have a lot of strong, strong independent women as your guides, and it's very interesting because for your own energy, pile 5, I'm not really getting masculine or feminine, but your guides are very divinely and strongly feminine. I think because, again, either you're attracted to this or you want to become this, maybe in some cases both. But the fact that we have like very strong independent women, it's just, I don't know, there's something interesting. Let me clarify these before I move on to the rest of this particular reading. To clarify the Four of Cups, we have the Eight of Coins, Chiron. Lots of healing energy. Your masculine side is very healing. To clarify the Page of Wands, the Page of Coins, or the Page of Pentacles. To clarify the Eight of Wands, we have the Seven of Wands. One thing's for sure, you have a fighting spirit. I don't think you came to this life to have an easy, well, yes, to have an easy life, but you are not afraid of a challenge. You are not afraid of a challenge at all. To clarify Temperance, we have the King of Wands. Yeah, there he is. And to clarify the Three of Cups, we have the Hanged Man and the World. Back of the deck energy, we have the Emperor. So I was kind of getting that some of, I really do feel this is going to be my pile of guys who are into women. But the thing is, you kind of embraced feminine energy before you embraced masculine energy. And why this is will vary. Maybe you just had very negative male figures in your life. Sometimes that comes through. Regardless of what you identify as here, I feel like your relationship with men was something that you really had to work through because it was something that you feared or something that you really had to, it's like strong feminism here. If you're a woman, you probably have a lot of strong feminism that you had to work through in a good way, or like working through toxic masculinity. Only take this if it resonates. I know this isn't going to be for everybody, but let's start with the Four of Cups. In this lifetime, you are meant to heal emotions, mostly within yourself, but also within others. I feel like this emotional side of you is something that you're not very used to because either for a long time you were not emotional or you didn't see the value in feelings. Like, yes, you understood people had feelings and that they existed, but you didn't understand what they had to do with, for example, a career or building a life or anything along those lines. But this is something you've had to heal with the Eight of Pentacles. You actually found it very rewarding once you realized that emotion really does bring a weight of value to the things around you. For example, you could have riches and riches, but if you don't have anybody to share them with, what do they matter? Or if you don't have somebody to even impress these riches with, what does it matter? And of course you want to impress them, not because there's something here about finding people of value that is going to be very important in this lifetime, pile 5. With the Page of Wands and the Page of Coins, this is kind of a youthful energy that never really leaves you. So I feel like you will always have this fresh perspective and outlook on life. This is giving a strong like fire sign. So you could be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or even a combination of that in earth signs, because earth signs can also be rather, earth signs are interesting because they grow up physically very quickly, but their mindset is kind of long lasting. So it's a combination of earth and fire. So Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, you could be on the cusp of that. But this is something long, it's like a long-lasting youthfulness to you, whether it's in spirit or whether it's actually physical. It all depends. But there's something about your outlook on life remaining fresh for a long time. Like, you're not afraid of embracing new ideas. You know when to let go of old traditional ideas and when to hold on to them, and when to blend both of them for something that is timeless. This is going to be something really good, especially when it comes to your career. This particular pile feels like a career reading, believe it or not. I don't know why that's coming through. A career and family reading for some of you. Maybe some of you are at that point in life where you kind of want to know more about your future when it comes to that. With Eight of Wands and Seven of Wands, this is interesting energy because I feel like you move about in life rather quickly. You're good at moving on, but you first have to learn how to take the Seven of Wands here is learning to process emotions, learning to sit with how you are feeling, learning to understand the impact of your actions on people. Because I feel like, especially at a certain point in life, you just kind of went from point A to point B, not really caring how you affected anybody. But there's something here about learning to slow down to really see the impact you have on folks, because there's something about your energy that you had to learn how to deal with. Like maybe you rubbed people the wrong way at a very early age, or people didn't understand you. And as you've gotten older, you've learned to slow down to make sure that you are coming off the right way or treating people the way they're meant to be treated. Very strong fire energy here, because I feel like I love fire signs, I really do, but sometimes they can be a little brash, a little bold, and not really think before they speak or before they do something. So I feel like you really had to learn how to slow down and do certain things to take other people into your into account. With Temperance and the King of Wands, this is this need for control. I feel like your whole life you've been very dominating and very controlling, or you had this kind of law of assumption energy where you understood you were always going to be in charge, but you had to learn how to temper that. You had to learn how to tailor it to a very specific kind of energy. For example, this could be somebody who goes, control crazy or power hungry. So you really had to learn how to tame it, how to work with people, how to understand yourself better so that you didn't become somebody who was a tyrant, basically, because there is a bit of tyrannical energy to this pile. But this is something you're learning to work through. This is something you're learning to curb. Maybe you even have people who help you with this, who help you tap into your more sensitive side. For some of you, it might be a life partner that helps you with this. Like maybe the person you end up being in a long-term committed relationship with, or that you end up marrying, could be somebody who's very opposite of you, and you really rely on them to help you see things in a different perspective. For example, if you have a hard time understanding people, you may ask your partner, what do you think about these people? And I feel like this really helps you go through in life in a very much more balanced way, because Temperance is balance. But interestingly, it's also Artemis. And when I think of Artemis, I think of like a sister archetype. So if it's not an actual partner, it could be like a really close friend that you confide in. It could even be a sibling, especially if you have a twin, or if you have a sibling that it's one of the few people who gets to see a real side of you. I feel like you consult them a lot. This will all depend, of course, on whether you have siblings or not. Some of you might have like that one sibling that you rely on for very sensitive subjects that you don't really trust anybody else around. I see this a lot with people who are intuitive. Sometimes they might have like a sibling that they go to for specific intuitive based things because they don't trust anybody else. I've seen that dynamic before. But for some of you, it might actually be like a partner. Regardless, it's somebody who you rely on because you understand that you are not a world unto yourself. And maybe at one point you try to be. Maybe at one point you try to just be independent and be on your own. But as you've gotten older, or as you've learned, you understood that sometimes you need people there to be part of your team. And like I said, it'll vary who this person is. With the Three of Cups, the World, and the Hanged Man, so there's definitely like a big party energy to you. I'm not sure if you just have a big group of friends, a big social group, but there's something about you becoming like it. How do I put this? You go on and off between this energy. Like there are moments when you just really want to party, have a great time, make sure everybody is having the best time ever. And then there are moments when you're just shut off away from everybody and kind of go incognito, or you go missing. Like people will be like, where's pile 5 at? We haven't seen them in like months. So I think especially when you were younger, you were okay in this party energy, but as you've evolved, as you've gotten older, or as you've learned, you understood that sometimes you need to separate yourself from everybody else to really understand who you are and what your goals in life are. And this may be when you retreat to the people that are closest to you, whether it's your family, friends, or loved one. And this is when you really gather yourself. It's kind of like you've been an extrovert your whole life, that the introverted part didn't come until like much later. And then you realized if you nurture that introverted part of yourself, you actually function a lot better. With the Emperor here, again, there's a need for control here. There's something about maybe it's not toxic masculinity. I think that's the wrong way to say it. I feel like it might just be like masculine energy that was it was just something you really needed to understand within yourself, regardless of your gender, regardless of how you see energies here. There's something about that positive yang masculine energy that you really needed to understand, because I'm not seeing overcoming it. Like some of you might have had a bad experience with it, and then some of you might have overused it. Maybe you grew up being in a very masculine energy, and then you misused it and you didn't like that. So you had to learn how to be a lot more sensitive underneath that. We have, yeah, the Five of Swords. I feel like you've gotten in trouble once or twice, and this was like a big wake-up call, like a big lesson for you to understand that even though you're capable of doing anything, you're capable of manifesting anything, it could just as easily slip through your fingers. There's some karmic lessons here, but I don't feel that they were impactful, yes, but they didn't stop your growth. They didn't hinder you. You didn't sit there and think about them too long because you understood that every learning process is a learning process and it helps you get better. I really love this energy, pile 5. Let me know what you do, because this is somebody who is unstoppable. Whatever it is that you want to accomplish in this lifetime, you will accomplish because you don't have any sense of self-doubt at all. Like, I'm trying to find something here. It's like, yes, you have obstacles. Yes, you have hindrances, but you never once stop believing in yourself. And I feel like your spirit guides really instill this within you. They're very much your cheerleaders. They're very much your coaches. Maybe some of you have sports analogies here. Maybe some of you do sports, but they're definitely your team. They want you to succeed, and they know because you are driven that you will succeed. It's like you don't doubt yourself for a minute. If you're not really if you're not resonating with any of this, I feel like your spirit guides are asking you to have like the most crazy amount of belief in yourself. Have like the most delusional amount of belief in yourself, and you will accomplish this. Very strong solar plexus energy, very strong confidence. Like your guides are just here with you. Very interesting energy. Very interesting indeed. What else is coming through? This is going to be my pile of people who, if you do end up marrying, you're going to marry somebody very important or somebody very powerful. But they're going to be like it's interesting. You only go for good things. You only go for top tier things. You don't settle. So, very interesting. Very interesting. But let's move on to some closing advice, because this energy is, I'm not gonna lie, like I don't even know what to do with this. I don't typically meet people like this. So you're thank you for being here, pile 5. Thank you for clicking on my reading. And again, if you don't resonate with this is something that is very much in your energetic field. So I would claim it. I would say to the universe, yes, I am ready to embrace this part of me that has like foolproof, absolute confidence in yourself. It's awesome. This is also going to be one of my shorter piles because there's something about your energy. You're very quick, pile 5. I don't know if you're just a busy person or if you don't like to waste time, but there's something about your energy where you don't waste time. You're very efficient. This happens sometimes. I'll have readings where they're like half the time of everything else. We have the last straw, 10. A lot of you are very energetic. You have a lot of energy. You have a lot of energy to spare. You could be into coffee as well, but I'm seeing somebody who, like, once they've hit like a breaking point, there's no stopping. It's like you hit a wall and then you're unstoppable. For some people that would shut them down, that would do this and that. No, for you, when you hit the last straw, that drives you even further and you're unstoppable. Again, I'm getting a little bit of tyrannical energy, but it's like people have a hard time slowing you down. So again, you have a small group of people that you trust to tell you what to do. And whenever they have something to say, you listen to them. These are like the people who are here to, this could even be your guides, but I'm seeing it quite honestly as like actual people. Like if you ever have that one friend who calls you up and says, hey, I think you need to slow down and we need to hang out. You stop everything you do and do that because you know this friend probably has like some common sense or some very, that they're right about something. It could even be your family, your parents, or the sibling, like I said. Let's get one more card. Death. So I like this card. It lets me know that within this lifetime, you will go through several transformations. You may not see them as transformations, but other people definitely will. It's like, I'm being shown seasons or even years where you take some time off to focus on yourself because you do so much. I'm seeing somebody who does a lot. Like you do a lot for a long period of time and then you take some time to rest. And then the next year you're back on it. And again, this is how your energy is. Like you just do so much. You hit a breaking point and then you keep going and then you shut down for like a few days or a week or something like that. Lots of very strong energy in this pile. I don't know how you do it, pile 5, because I've seen this myself and I just could never. Let's get some Forest Friends cards. For my pile 5. Yeah, the person you are that you don't show to everybody else is very different. We have this squirrel. Cheerful squirrel treasure. The memories you make with your loved ones are your true treasures. I think if you begin your life being very materialistic or very career focused, as you get older, you're going to understand that sometimes it's the memories that are a lot more valuable to you. You will be somebody who ends up focusing on family the older you get, to the point where you prioritize them above all else, especially if you have children, especially if you end up with a partner that means the world to you. I feel like a lot of you will. We also have this one. Dancing with hairs, energy. When you flow with energy, you inspire others to dance too. Yeah, like I said, you have boundless amounts of energy, pile 5. If you don't feel that now, I feel like there's going to be a shift sometime within your life that is going to bring this to you. And we have these ducks. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Inquisitive duckling, curiosity. To stay curious is to keep finding new possibilities. What are you curious about? You're definitely somebody who likes to get to know people. Like I said, you're very social, you like to party, you like to network, you like to ask people very random things, and I feel like this natural curiosity is what gets you anywhere. And this is how you're able to find people to do exactly what you need to do, to find the right networking, to find the right environment and communities that are going to help you with whatever it is that you want to do. Like I said, very entrepreneurial spirit, very I don't know what it is that you're going to do in this lifetime, pile 5. I'm not being shown that, but whatever it is that you're going to do, you're going to succeed in it, and you're going to thrive, and people are going to love this about you. It wouldn't surprise me if you're going to end up being very popular as well, in a good sense, not in like the high school sense, more in like everybody will know you, everybody will know about you, and they'll know what you do to the community and the people around you. We're going to use some Angel Tarot cards as Oracle cards. Ace of Fire. An exciting new opportunity, career advancement, and change your life now. I feel like a lot of you are going to step into this energy rather soon. Because for a lot of you, I'm sure you're not even resonating with this, especially my introverts out there. But some of you are going to step into this energy soon. It could even be through like a partner or through a community or through a group of close friends that help you with this, help catapult you there. Again, your spirit guides will bring people to you that you are meant to meet. And the 10 of Wands, 10 of Fire, I'm not surprised I was getting this. Too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance, stress-related health concerns. Yeah. You may meet these people when you go through like a health-related episode, or when you have like hit rock bottom and can't take anymore. You might meet the exact right people to help you move forward in life, because they understand the value of what you have to bring to the world, and they understand that you're different and that you're going to help a lot of people. They're going to want you to be part of their team, and they're going to help you out. They're going to help you carry these burdens. And yeah, I'm hearing dream work makes the teamwork, or sorry, teamwork makes the dream work. Lots of fire energy, lots of youthful energy. And then we got the Pokemon cards for our final messages. But yeah, lots of fire energy. For my pile 5. We have, you're not always right. Your job is to be less wrong. Like I said, there must have been a point in your life where you thought you were right about everything, or you felt that you didn't need other people's input, but then you were humbled, or there were some certain obstacles that kind of proved you wrong. And yes, you sat with it for a moment, but then you realized that there were certain people out there who showed you a different way of seeing life or living life. Again, you're very surrounded by people who are meant to be part of your life's journey. Like your guides literally come in the form of actual people, but like those people are also divinely guided to be your guides, if that makes any sense. Let's get another card. Regret is sometimes unavoidable. So I do see you having regrets. I think when you take a moment to stop and look back at certain things you've done, you wish you had done them differently. But you don't do this very often. Again, this emotional side of you is something you only contemplate with very specific people. It's not going to be everybody. And then last one. Reverse never test the depth of water with both feet. So you're always having multiple projects. I feel like it's hard for you to commit to one thing. So you always have multiple things going. Mostly in career and even in your social circles, you might have like multiple social circles as well, or even multiple streams of income. But the one thing you have to really focus on, especially when it comes to your intimate relationships, is to make sure that everybody is on board with the kind of lifestyle that you want, is what I'm hearing. This is mostly for people who are into polyamory, because I'm getting that a little bit strongly here. Make sure this is something everybody wants. If not, make sure you find the right people for this. That's not going to be for everybody, of course. But like I said, you probably have multiple projects going on at any given moment, partially due to your restlessness and partially due to the fact that you kind of like to be able to balance certain things out. So maybe one project might focus on something more physical and another project might focus on something more mental. But yeah, you are meant to do amazing things in this lifetime, pile 5. Your guides are with you every step of the way. Even if you don't always hear them, you know they are there. And yeah, this is all I have for you. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, pile 5. I am sending you all my love and all the best. This is amazing energy. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care.